touchdown pass in overtime. Kansas City wins the game.
Welcome into The Drive with Carrington Harrison.
Back-to-back best sports talk hosts as voted on in the Pitch magazine.
Live from the Van Studios. Here's C-Dot.
Let's do this. Another day, another dollar, another edition of The Drive. You were listening to The Drive on 96.5 The Fan, 96.5thefan.com, and also the Odyssey app. My name is Carrington Harrison. Excited to be here with you guys on this wonderful Wednesday, getting you ready for Super Bowl 59 between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Philadelphia Eagles. I got a chance to catch up with Patrick Mahomes earlier today. We will play that conversation for you at our normal time at 3:15. This is the last time that Patrick Mahomes will be on the show before next Sunday's Super Bowl. So we got a chance to sit down with him for 10 to 12 minutes. We'll play that conversation for you coming up in just a bit. We have a lot to get into in today's show. We still don't have any pizza to give you guys. We are working on it, I promise you. But I need you guys to do me a couple of favors. Number one, I need you listening to The Drive each day at 2 o'clock right here on 96.5 The Fan. I also need you to tell one friend. Next week, I'll ask you to tell two friends because it's the Super Bowl. So they're playing in a super game. I've got a super request. But for this week, you know what? You don't got to tell two people. Just tell one person to listen to the show. All right, this is where I would like to begin today's show. When I was a kid, I used to be a fan of these choose-your-own adventure books. Now, I don't know if you guys remember these or not, but you would be reading, and you would get to a part of the story where it will tell you if you want to take road A to turn to page 37. If you want to take road B, turn to page 55. And it was a mystery. Were you going to make the right decision? Maybe you end up marrying the queen. Maybe you get eaten by a monster. You had no clue how the story was going to go, and it was up to you to determine how the story was going to go. I was thinking about that moment today as I was getting ready for the show and thinking that Brett Veach has had a couple of these opportunities within his career of being the general manager. There have been a couple of very key points in Kansas City Chiefs history where things could have went left. You were at a fork in the road, and it is up for you to make the right decision in how you were going to build this team, how you were going to build this roster, and what path the Chiefs were going to go down. Now, we know how this story has ended for Kansas City, but there were definitely a couple of points where things could have veered off the path, and we wouldn't be having this conversation today. It wasn't that long ago that the Chiefs, they were the upstart team. They were the new flavor of the month, the new kid on the block. You had this quarterback that people hadn't seen before that gave you all these visions of Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers, but he played with a little bit more composure than all of those quarterbacks. And the Chiefs had the worst defense in the National Football League. And there was a hope, there was an optimism. Hey, you don't need your defense to be great. You need your defense to get to a point where they can be 15th, 16th, 17th in the National Football League. And if you accomplish that, you got a chance to go win the Super Bowl. That offseason, Brett Veach was forced with the decision. What path are you going to take? You can blow this thing. I'm watching Buffalo blow this thing right now with their quarterback. I'm watching Baltimore blow this thing right now with their quarterback. The Bengals still don't have an offensive line for their quarterback. There are teams who have gotten it right at the position and haven't been able to do all the other necessary things to get to where Kansas City has been. Back to the Chiefs, they had a major fork in the road. You now have the solution to the problem. You have the quarterback. You've got to get the other things right. And in one offseason, we saw Brett Veach make every correct decision to rehabilitate that defense and get you to a point where you didn't have to wait 3 years. You didn't have to wait 5 years. The very next season, you went to the Super Bowl and won the Super Bowl, and your defense was a major part. There was a fear in Kansas City that the defense was going to be the thing that held Patrick Mahomes back, that you had something that was truly special, and were the people around him going to mess it up? They've never messed it up. That was the first time that the Chiefs had this choose your own adventure. Were they going to get the defense right? They fired Bob Sutton. They went out and they got Steve Spagnuolo, who is now proven to be the best defensive coordinator that the game has ever seen. You brought in Frank Clark. You brought in Tyrann Mathieu. You drafted, you developed, you scouted. You got that defense to a great place. Well, the next time the Chiefs had a major problem, they lost in the Super Bowl to Tampa Bay. That was a Super Bowl that everyone was very confident heading into. Oh, we beat this team in the regular season. Tom's old. We've got more talent than them. That defensive line ate you lunch. Now, sure, the Chiefs had injuries up front, and now the Chiefs were faced with the decision. A player like Mitchell Schwartz, who had never really battled injuries in his career, he was done. You had to replace Eric Fisher. You had to replace your entire offensive line and start over. That same offseason, they went out and they got Joe Thuney, a player who looks like at some point in his career, he is going to be in Canton, Ohio, who has proven to be one of the more versatile offensive linemen in the National Football League. You also drafted Creed Humphrey. You also got Trey Smith. There was a problem in front of the Kansas City Chiefs. They solved said problem. They solved it with the defense back in 2019. They solved it with the offensive line. They had another problem where the Chiefs had, who at one point people were debating if he was the biggest downfield threat in the history of the National Football League. Yes, that was a conversation. That was a debate with Tyreek Hill and Randy Moss. Hey, who's the better downfield big play threat? A lot of people were taking Tyreek Hill. They traded that player. At some point, they determined, we don't care what you're asking for. We don't care. We don't want you on our team anymore. In fact, we'll let you choose your own adventure. You want to go play for the Dolphins or the Jets? Because playing for the Chiefs is no longer an option. He made his decision. The Chiefs then had to hit a home run on that trade. When you lose a player of that magnitude, you have to get something for it. They traded Tyreek Hill for Trent McDuffie, and they traded him for Nick Bolton, two players who have never experienced a loss in the postseason. There have been steps along the way where this thing could have ended up very differently for Kansas City, and the Chiefs have made the right decision at every single point. Maybe you want a more recent example of how this happened for Kansas City. I would argue that it's happened this entire year. The Chiefs did not have an answer at left tackle for most of the season. They didn't have the answer in week 2. They didn't have the answer in week 3. We can fast forward. They didn't have the answer in week 10. They then got to their last option. Joe Thuney, we need you. You have been the ultimate pro. You have done everything that we have asked you to do. We're asking you to play a little bit of left tackle for us and give us stability up front. And that is exactly what has happened. As we are celebrating Patrick Mahomes, and we should be, as we are celebrating Andy Reid, who deserves it, and Travis Kelce, and all of these great players who have come together to accomplish something very special in the National Football League, we also have to sit back and acknowledge Brett Veach, and that you and your staff have been able to manage this thing correctly the entire way. At one point, we didn't believe that you could win Super Bowls if you paid your quarterback. And the moment that you gave your quarterback a contract like the one the Chiefs gave Patrick Mahomes, that would be a roadblock and that would stop your ability to win. That is what we thought in the National Football League. You can't pay your quarterback. No one does that and still wins championships. Your quarterback can only make X% of the cap. Well, you got to draft right. When you lose your number one running back, and basically for the entire season, I know Isaiah Pacheco has come back. They have not had Isaiah Pacheco this year, certainly not the one that played the first 2 years in Kansas City. You go out and you sign somebody in Kareem Hunt who has stepped in and led your team in yards from scrimmage this year. He wasn't on the roster in training camp. He wasn't on the roster in week 1. You added him to your team, and he has led your team in yards from scrimmage ever since you made the decision. So as I was thinking about how we got here with Kansas City, and if somebody comes up to you and says, hey, why are the Chiefs so good? How did they get here? And I know there's a lot of nonsense that would make you think that this entire thing has been propped up by the national media or propped up by the officials, or that the Kansas City Chiefs were just somehow selected by the NFL, or that Taylor Swift is now the reason because the NFL wants Swifties watching these games. You were here from the beginning, and you've seen how it's been built. And you remember that there were different price points and different points along the way from the Kansas City Chiefs that they very easily could have messed up, but they didn't. And the Chiefs haven't been perfect. They haven't shot 100% from the field. They've got some decisions right. But when they've had the major decisions and when there has come a point where the Chiefs absolutely need to do something, they did that in firing Bob Sutton and fixing the defense. They did that in repairing the offensive line. They did that in replacing Tyreek Hill, going out and getting Juju Smith-Schuster, going out to pick up MVS. They did that this season when they didn't have a left tackle. They did that earlier this season when they lost their number one running back and needed an option. Every major problem the Chiefs have had for the last 5 years, they have very quickly found a solution to it. And that's the difference between the great teams and the ones that are not great. Those other teams make excuses. Well, it's the defense. Well, we don't know if we have the right coach. Well, this injury happened. Well, you haven't heard a whole lot of shoulda, coulda, wouldas from Kansas City. They just go out and do. And that's how the Chiefs find themselves in 5 Super Bowls out of the last 6 years and have a chance to win 3 in a row coming up next Sunday. Coming up in about an hour, we'll be joined by Patrick Mahomes, quarterback for your Kansas City Chiefs. Keep it right here. It's The Drive on 96.5 The Fan.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
What I was told was bone on bone. I was going to have knee replacement, and I do not like surgery.
Desperate to avoid surgery, Julie decided to check out QC Kinetics non-surgical regenerative treatments.
My daughter actually works in a Chapel Hill, North Carolina lab, and I sent her all of the information that I was given, and she's like, "Oh, Mom, this is for you. I've heard great things about this." She's like, "You need to try it before ever doing surgery."
Julie started the QC Kinetics natural biologic treatments right in the office, using her own healing properties to help restore her damaged tissue.
I know, my daughter was right. Yeah, it's nice when you've got that person you can go to who might have a little bit more information, especially on the science of it. QC Kinetics, it's life-changing.
Find out if you're a good candidate. Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 816-412-6299. That's 816-412-6299. 816-412-6299.
Taxes was not knowing your full financial picture. Now Taxes is getting and maximizing your refund all in one place. Credit Karma, where a TurboTax expert can do your taxes for you. They'll get you the most money back, guaranteed. Then you can do more with all that money, all in Credit Karma. Now this is Taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. Get started today. See guaranteed details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.
In the dynamic world of programmatic ad buying, Viant is your ultimate CTV partner. Target with precision. Buy with confidence. Viant empowers you with AI-driven technology that reaches your audience where they engage most, ensuring your message hits home. And the campaign results? Transparent, thanks to Viant's advanced measurement suite. For media buyers who demand the best, Viant delivers. Viant, elevate your CTV campaign performance.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? So you've got an oil change coming up. We can help you save on the right oil for your vehicle. Right now, get 5 quarts of Castrol Edge Full Synthetic or Castrol Edge Full Synthetic High Mileage Motor Oil with an STP Extended Life Oil Filter for just $35.99. Visit one of our 6,000 stores or order from AutoZone.com for same-day store pickup or next-day delivery.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Saving for retirement was tough enough for us.
Yes, and navigating markets can be challenging at times.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we take a disciplined approach with your investments.
Tell us more about that.
We take an active approach to money management, positioning your portfolio for opportunities we see ahead.
So all your clients get the same portfolio?
No, we tailor your portfolio to your individual goals and needs.
What about communication? We don't like being left in the dark.
We check in regularly to keep you informed on the markets and your portfolio.
Which means you'll help us stay on track.
Yes, our goal is your comfortable retirement, And as a fiduciary, we always put your interests first, because we do better when you do better. At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Okay, so that's with bacon, cheese, lettuce, tomato, grilled onions, ketchup, and hold the pickles.
You know what you like. You wouldn't order your burger just any way. Why should your sports talk be any different? With Chapters on the free Odyssey app, you can choose the topics that matter to you most. Whether it's reactions, matchup previews, injury updates, or team news, quickly find what you really care about. Your football talk, your way. Download the free Odyssey app and start listening today.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios.
Chiefs fans, it's Trey Smith. Welcome to The Drive with C-Dot on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
Welcome back into The Drive on 96.5 The Fan, 96.5thefan.com, and also the Odyssey app. Coming up in about 15 minutes. Well, actually, it's a lot less than that. My time was a little bit off. Coming up in about an hour, actually. I lied. Coming up in about an hour, we'll play our conversation with the quarterback of the Kansas City Chiefs. I don't know why I was thinking in Eastern Standard Time. We've been trying to coordinate a lot of things, but no, coming up at 3:15, we'll be joined by the quarterback of the Kansas City Chiefs. My apologies there. You know what I have noticed? And this is crazy that this is the case. What I have noticed over the last couple of years is there has been one team that is pretty routinely come to the defense of the Kansas City Chiefs. They are receiving shots and arrows from just about everybody. The number one story in the National Football League, probably since the end of the Houston game, has been officiating. It's not been about Pat's greatness. It's not been about the redemption arc for Kareem Hunt. It hasn't even been about Saquon Barkley, who is going on one of the greatest runs that we have seen a running back go on. It has not been about really any of those things. Jalen Hurts, who has been to 2 Super Bowls in his first 5 years, the redemption of Nick Sirianni. There's a lot of actual storylines to be discussing about this game from a national perspective. All people want to talk about is the refs. It's not fair. They cheat for the Chiefs. You got to beat the Chiefs, the refs, and Taylor Swift. That's what it's been for basically the last 10 to 12 days in the National Football League. You know who has pretty routinely come to Kansas City's defense? It's been the New England Patriots. You want to know why? Because the Patriots know how hard it is to do what the Chiefs are doing. There is only one group of people that can speak on this. It's not Bills fans. It's only the Patriots. They're the only team ever in the history of the National Football League that when you ask Julian Edelman, hey, what do you think about the Chiefs? He can speak from a point of experience. I love Adam Schefter. Adam Schefter can't speak from that place. But Tom Brady can. Gronk can. Bill Belichick can. All of them understand how difficult it is to do what the Chiefs are doing it. They understand all the criticism. They experienced it for basically their entire career. I want to play for you what Julian Edelman had to say. And you would never think this because Julian Edelman at one point beat Kansas City to win a Super Bowl. Also was the beneficiary of a pretty controversial call. You guys remember that AFC Championship game? Did he touch the glove? Did it not touch the glove? Who knows? We'll never know the answer. Also had a controversial roughing the passer call from Chris Jones in there. The Patriots have dealt with all of this. They dealt with the jokes and the backlash and you guys have the NFL's golden boy. Listen to Julian Edelman. He's on your side. He's an ally.
When you're on top, everyone wants to try to bring you down. It's a bunch of baloney that the league is helping the Kansas City Chiefs. If you got a problem with it, go beat them. Okay, the refs aren't involved in when you throw interceptions, when you fumble the ball, when you jump off sides, when you don't convert third down or fourth down or third and fourth down for short 4 times. They can't control that. Like, if you want to beat them, go beat them. Don't talk about it. Be about it. I'm so sick and tired of hearing people say that about the Chiefs. do business as business is being done with the referees. We all have scouting reports on each ref crew on how they like to throw the game. You learn about it during that first part of that game. If they're calling it tight, you tighten back. If they're not, you just hope that they're consistent throughout the whole thing, which they usually are. And yes, they miss calls and they do these things, and there's bad calls here and there, but there's a handful of roughing the passers for guys that don't even have a resume that you looked at this year that got the call. If it's close, leave it alone. Yeah, they'll probably have to address that sideline awareness stuff, but these whole graphics about, they get the call and they don't get the call. They don't give the call to them because they're coached better.
Do you guys remember what the Patriots motto was? You remember what it was, Rob? It was do your job. They had a sign in the locker room, a very simple message. Do your job. That's kind of like my motto. Just be better. We have spent the last couple of days arguing about these things when the message is very simple. Do your job or be better. That's what the Chiefs have pretty routinely done during this process. Think about all the guys that have done their job, from the Nico Remigios to the Daniel Sorensens to the Jarius Sneeds to the Charvarius. Think about all the guys that have very simply done their job. Because if you do what you're supposed to do and I do what I'm supposed to do and all of us are pushing in the exact same direction, we can win a whole lot of games. That's what Kansas City's done. They've kept their head down and they've done the work. You know who can appreciate that? Somebody else who has been to the mountaintop as many times as the New England Patriots. That's how Julian Edelman can speak from a place like that. Yeah, I don't really get into all this referee stuff. Yeah, I don't think that's what's going on. Kansas City does what we used to do. You remember, the Patriots had a lot of the same qualities. They would wait for you to make a mistake. They'd wait for you to turn the ball over. They'd wait for you to line up off sides. They'd wait for you to make a mistake. And the moment you made a mistake, they'd pounce. And that'd be it. You weren't coming back from it. Once you gave Brady just a little bit of an opening, he was going to use that opening to end your season. And Julian Edelman had a first-class seat for it, made tremendous plays, made one of the best catches in Super Bowl history against the Atlanta Falcons. Everybody chipping in, doing their job. Patriots saw a lot of turnover, lost a lot of coordinators, lost a lot of players, did this over a prolonged period of time because everybody did their job. I never thought I would say this. You know what? I actually kind of like the New England Patriots. I was online earlier today, and Kyle Van Noy, who used to play linebacker for those teams, he tweeted out that he felt like he was the only one that didn't think Josh Allen got the first down. Who would have ever thought that the Chiefs' greatest allies in a moment like this would be Tom Brady and the New England Patriots? Nobody else seems to be stepping up to have their back right now. I don't usually like the us against the world mentality, especially when you're favored in the Super Bowl the way that Kansas City is, when you're looking to win 3 of these in a row. Man, it does kind of feel like a Chiefs against the world mentality. Nobody's picking them. Nobody wants them to win. Nobody's on their side in this argument. It's just you and Julian Edelman. It's just you and Rob Gronkowski. It's just you and Corey Dillon, Rob. That's where we are. The Chiefs have a friend. They have a friend in the New England Patriots.
I mean, I never thought I'd say this. Good for Julian Edelman, because he says it perfectly. Everyone in every game is probably the beneficiary of a whistle that goes their way at some point. If we sat down and watched every NFL game, there's 200 some odd NFL games over the course of the season. If we watched every game, sat down and charted it, I'd bet we'd find, oh, can you believe Will Levis got this questionable call? Oh my goodness, this was a tight call. And you know who benefited? The Seattle Seahawks. That's just sports. It is not some massive conspiracy. It is not some, the world is out for the Chiefs. It is not Roger Goodell and Taylor Swift acting in cahoots. It's none of those things. It is just NFL officiating is rather inconsistent, and over the course of the season, you win some and you lose some in the officiating game. It's just that when the Chiefs win the some in the officiating game, that game is on national television. You see it, I see it, Joe in Honolulu sees it because it's everywhere. But Julian Edelman lived under that microscope, and he gets it. It's not the refs helping Tom Brady. It's not he makes a play and Ed Hockley taps on the button and says, hey, you're the golden child. We got your back. That doesn't happen. In reality, what happens is we hyper-focus on the things that go the Chiefs or Patriots way because you can't beat them. And it's a loser mentality to talk about how the team that bullies you got a break. You know what? If you were better, you wouldn't need the break. That is why I'm happy Julian Edelman, Tom Brady, Bill Belichick, all of them are talking positively about the Chiefs because they know it as well as I know it. It's not some massive conspiracy that kept the Patriots on top. It's the fact they're just better than the other teams.
Speaking of the officiating, I want to play Dean Blandino. Are we counting him friend of the show, or is our friend of the show Mike Pereira?
I think we're friends with both. Remember when Mike Pereira had his back surgery? Dean Blandino stepped in great for us.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like, though, if we could only have one of them on the show, I feel like we're going with Mike Pereira. Mike Pereira might really be our friend of the show. You know what? Associate of the show, acquaintance of the show, Dean Blandino. So he is a rules analyst in the National Football League. I want to play for you because he now chimes in after the fact. Now, Rob, I know you know what this is. You know when you're watching a basketball game and then they wait to see if the ball goes in or not, and then they call the foul. Like, wait, hold on. You didn't call that foul in real time. You waited to see if the ball went in, and now you want to call it. I know you know this. You cheer for Kansas, and that is a staple of Allen Fieldhouse, the late whistle to send a KU player to the line. Dean Blandino now chimes in on Wednesday on TMZ. You could have done this all day Monday. You could have done this all day Tuesday. You now want to chime in on Wednesday and throw your 2 cents and your hat in the ring on what happened. Where were you at earlier in the week? We don't want to hear this nonsense. Dean Blandino was on TMZ breaking down both of the close calls in the AFC Championship game.
Those two plays, they were both close. I thought the Xavier Worthy one, it was a close call, could have went either way on the field. They ruled it a catch. And the way you're looking at that is, yes, the ball did touch the ground, but did it ever come loose? I thought it was pinned up against the bodies. I didn't see any bobble or any real loss of control. So once they ruled it a catch, I didn't see any way they could have changed it.
Right.
The spot on the fourth down was close. When I watched it live, I thought it was a first down. I really did. I thought he made the big line. It was close. You know, when you watch the two officials, one official was coming in from the top, looked like that official had the spot at the line of game. The other official had it just short. When you have those situations, really, who does the ball open up to? Does one official defer to the other? Thought they both had fairly decent looks at it. They went with the spot that was short, and once you get it that close, it's going to be tough to overturn. But again, it just kind of fits where we are right now with the Chiefs get the calls. I think the Chiefs, you know, it was a great game. And I didn't think it was the officiating that was ultimately the deciding factor, but you know, that's always going to be part of the conversation.
I feel like we have lost the meaning of 50-50 calls. That's what I feel like has happened. I feel like we have lost the meaning of what a 50-50 call is. You know what happens in a 50-50 call? It is going to go on the opposite side of you 50 times out of 100. You don't know when that's going to happen. It could be 9 in a row that go against you. Maybe you have a hot streak of 50-50. But the true definition is, like a coin flip, if you flip a coin, it could land 50% of the times on heads, 50% of the time on tails. That there are no outside influences. No one really knows which way that it's going to land. I feel like now we've lost the definition when it comes to this of a lot of these calls that we have debated about when it comes to Kansas City. I think that Josh Allen is a 50-50. If they had made the announcement that they believed that Josh Allen had got it on the first down, that would have made sense to me. I think you can argue that he got it on the first down. If that's what you say, hey, we think we saw the ball there, okay, that's fine. It was 13 minutes left in the game. Something tells me, and I'll never know, but based on watching all of the Chiefs games during this run, something tells me that they would have been able to overcome the other team getting the first down, and they would have figured out a way to win that game. Well, Carrington, how do you know? Well, they've won 23 of their last 24 games. Something tells me that if the call had gone against them, they could have won. Something tells me that. In the Super Bowl, the last time they played the Philadelphia Eagles with the controversial holding call on James Bradbury, I don't think that anyone is debating on whether or not that was a penalty. I think the argument was whether or not you should call the penalty in that spot. Do you want the game to be, quote, decided by a penalty? But also based on watching Harrison Butker, I think he would have made the field goal. Now, the Chiefs would have had to go on defense. We'll see if Jalen Hurts takes them down the field and that penalty removed the opportunity for that to happen. But I don't really hear many people debating on whether or not they think it was a penalty or not. Last year in the AFC Championship game, when Patrick Mahomes was pushed out of bounds by the Cincinnati Bengals, all of these arguments have, at least they used to be, and maybe it has just shifted, but it used to be, well, you can't call it in that spot. You got to let the players decide it. Now the game is rigged. Well, you pushed Mahomes when he was out of bounds. You grabbed Juju Smith-Schuster. Before it was, well, we know we committed a penalty. Now don't call it. Now it's a pure 50-50 coin flip. Who knows what's going to happen? Now the game is rigged in the other team's favor. Do your job. When you need 1 yard, don't call a play that could maybe get you 2 yards. Call a play that can get you 6. Call a play that can get you 7. Don't leave things up to chance. Don't leave things up to the officials. We don't think the officials are good anyway. They're not good on black and white calls. Now we're going to ask them to color it in? I don't trust them to do that. One of the reasons why the Chiefs are the Chiefs is they just make the play. The Chiefs aren't counting on getting offsides on your field goal. They're just going to block your field goal. You had a chance, if you're the Las Vegas Raiders, to score. You fumbled the snap. You got to do your job, and I haven't heard a whole lot of this. Speaking of do your job, I went to the KU game yesterday. Had good seats. Didn't have great seats, but I had good seats. But I had a fun time at the game. I will say, this is a side note from even what the main point of this topic is going to be. Rob, I like the improvements to Allen Fieldhouse. I like it. You kind of spruced it up a little bit. It's better. And the internet finally works in that place. You remember, Rob, the internet didn't work. You couldn't make a phone call. You couldn't get on social media. You couldn't place a bet. You couldn't do any of that.
How many times did you text me? You got me? Nope.
Yeah, this time I was able to benefit from going to a KU game. When they were playing how KU usually plays, I got a chance to get them on the money line. I got them at minus 140. I had to pay a little bit of juice. And then as they continued to play like Kansas, I got KU at plus money in the Fieldhouse. I almost dumped my whole checking account on the FanDuel to make sure that they covered me there. You're going to give me KU in a home game as a slight underdog against a team I know they're better than? Oh, I cleaned up yesterday with the live betting. So thank you, Allen Fieldhouse, for the improvements that you've made to the Wi-Fi on the internet. They've been great. I like the Jumbotron, the little things over in the corners with the pay heat. Now let me get the compliments out of the way because hey, I don't know what UCF was complaining for there at the end. They ain't calling that for you and Allen. Maybe I'm being hypocritical in regards to the Chiefs and how I'm telling these other teams to get better. That kid number 4, that kid who gave y'all 34 points with the Allen Iverson braids from 2003, you let somebody with braids from 2003 pull up in Allen Fieldhouse and put a 30 spot on you? That's not the KU that I've grown up with. That's a different KU. You used to have to be AC Law or Kevin Durant or Blake Griffin to walk into the Fieldhouse and drop a 30. I don't even know that kid's name that scored 30 points on KU yesterday. But again, that's not the point of this segment. You guys can call this hating all you want. And I know what team I cheer for. I cheer for Missouri. You might remember they beat your team earlier in the season. I was there. I have pictures. So I feel like I'm a little bit qualified to say this. I don't care what number is in front of KU's name. That team's not good. I'm sorry. I've watched too much KU this year. I've seen them multiple times in person. I'm probably going to go out there next week to watch them play Iowa State. That team's not good. Not by KU standards. They're not good. I was really sitting there and I was trying to figure out what I thought KU did really, really well. Because usually KU's really good at something. They can lock in and get a great stop if they need to. They can really put the clamps on and hold you to 62 points. I was really trying to figure out what this KU team, like, What's their calling card? What's their bread and butter? I don't have it, man. I really don't have it with this team. Maybe I'm jaded. Maybe I'm a hater. I know I cheer for Missouri, so you can take these opinions as a grain of salt. I don't care if they're ranked 11th. I don't care if they're a 3 seed, a 4 seed. That team is going to struggle to get out of the first weekend in the NCAA tournament. I said this in the beginning of the season, and no one listened to me, and everybody laughed. If your best player can't guard people, you are going to be in trouble. And Hunter Dickinson can't guard anybody. He can't guard anybody. And I don't care what the rebounding stats say. He is okay at rebounding. I actually like that Badunga kid. He plays with energy. He plays with something. That's those Jayhawks that you guys used to love and used to cling to. Those are the Jayhawks that I'm used to. I just don't get the same feel with this Jayhawks team. I don't even hate them like I usually do. I usually hate KU teams. I usually just don't like them. I usually got to really search hard for like, man, what? I got to find a motivation to talk about KU today. I love talking about this KU team. They're my favorite KU team to talk about. I don't care what numbers by their name. I know what you're going to text in. Oh, well, Joe Lunardi has them as a 3 seed. I don't care. I don't care. They're going to struggle in their first round game against a mid-major team, and they're going to play a major team in the second round of the NCAA tournament that will have no fear of them and can beat them straight up. You got to think, if KU's a 3 seed, they end up playing a 6 seed in the second round. They end up playing a team that be ranked. Team that be ranked 22nd, 24th in the poll, maybe right outside the poll, and that team gets to play KU in a neutral site. That team can beat this KU team, man. Maybe I'm overreacting to the 2 times that I've seen them in person, because I saw Missouri put it on them in the first 20 minutes of the game, and I watched UCF, a team that just doesn't have a whole lot of talent, in my opinion, yesterday. I watched them battle with KU from start to finish in that game. They had the ball down 1 with less than 10 seconds to go at Allen Fieldhouse, a team that KU beat by 60 points a couple of weeks ago. This KU team ain't that good, man. I have seen enough of KU as we head into the final 6 weeks of the college basketball season. I've made my opinion.
I really want to turn the mic on and be like, no, you're way off. This team just feels like last year's team. Maybe it's because at its core it's still Dickinson, it's still Harris. I know he didn't play last night, and it's still Adams. I know he's coming back from injury, but it has the same feel. It's a 3 seed. Their resume is good enough where they are a 3 seed. It just is. When you beat Duke and you beat Michigan State, 2 top 10 teams, and you have a chance to add another top 10 win later in Iowa State, you're a 3 seed, and that's great. And maybe you'll be in Wichita because that's just how the cookie crumbles sometimes. But you're telling me in the second round they're going to face what? A plucky Vanderbilt squad?
Somebody like that, yeah.
They can lose that game. They'll probably play a game against a team like last year they faced Gonzaga, a team that's historically good but was on a down season. That's the kind of team they will face in the second round this year, and I have no faith they're getting out of that game. And if they do, according to Lunardi's bracketology, they are a 3 seed. Let's say they sneak out and they make the Sweet 16. They're not beating a Marquette. They're not beating an Iowa State. They're not coming out of there and going, oh, now it's head-to-head time against Michigan State again. I don't know if it's a lack of joy. I don't know if it's a lack of energy. It just feels like outside of a handful of guys in this roster, it just feels like they're going through the motions. And I can't put my finger on the exact reason why, but yet again, like last season, they peaked in November, December, and that's not when the college basketball season ends. And it's odd to watch. But, I mean, they're a 3 seed that will get me excited in March, and then I'll be watching the rest of the Sweet 16 from home. It is what it is.
Yeah, text line 913-586-7965. C-Dot, who cares? Get right when March comes around. That's all that matters. Okay. You can agree with me or disagree with me about KU. I know you guys know I watched this KU team. I know this team ain't that good. I'm sorry. They're not that good. If KU didn't have the history, we would feel very different about this team. This KU team, after losing to Creighton, they have been okay. There's not a whole lot special about this team. Usually by now, you start to feel it at this point. You feel it by now. You kind of know if you got something. You guys have seen a lot of great KU teams. You've seen a lot of them. What's great about this team? What do you like? Can they lock in defensively? Can they get stops when they need to? If they need a bucket, who gets you that bucket? These are things that you should have answered as we head into February. And I don't know if KU has a lot of answers to those questions. I really don't. Coming up in about 30 minutes, we're going to be joined by the quarterback of the Kansas City Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes, set to join us next. Keep it right here. So Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your new home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Fellas, it's the new year, and for many of us, this is a time to reflect and make some positive changes in your life. And if you're struggling with erectile dysfunction and you're tired of the frustration and embarrassment that it causes, it's time to pick up the phone and call Heartland Men's Health. Resolve your ED today, and at Heartland Men's Health, they have treatments that work when all your other options have failed you. And with a success rate of over 90%, you can see instant result. Do you remember the first time that this happened? You thought it was going to be a one-time thing, but then it happened again and again. But that's perfectly fine because there is a cure. This is a treatable problem if you just pick up the phone and call my friends at Heartland Men's Health. They have successfully treated men's across the metro, and for just $100, you can get your initial visit, a medical consult, some tests, and a test dose. And if this doesn't work in the office, then your visit is on the house. So pick up the phone and change your life. Call 844-447-6600 or visit heartlandmenshealth.com with 3 locations around the metro to serve you: Overland Park, Independence, and North Kansas City.
Many people consider selling their homes independently to save on real estate commissions. While this might seem appealing, especially in today's market, independent sellers often overlook the significant financial benefits of working with a professional. Collaborating with an expert like Dawn Sharp and the Sharp Homes team, brokered by Epic Realty, can greatly enhance your profits and overall experience in the selling process. So contact the only agent I would trust if I needed to sell my home. You can Google Dawn and her team at Sharp Homes Team or visit them at homesforsale.kc.com.
Paid for client portrayal and endorsement. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. Past results afford no guarantee of future results, and every case is different and must be judged on its own merits.
After my car wreck, there was a lot I didn't know.
I do know. My team knows injury law. We can help you understand all of your legal rights so that you don't get cheated.
DM Law knew what to do and got me $500,000.
Mike's got this. If you've been hurt in a car wreck, call me. I've got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Wouldn't you like to take a vacation from your bills? Well, you can. With credit card balances at an all-time high and Golden Oak's 5.25% rate, you could be saving thousands of dollars after a simple phone call. Call today and get your cash in as little as 14 days and make no payments for 2 months. Call 913-890-GOLD.
Golden Oak Landing, cured my blues.
6.19 APR, FHA, 15-year, 20% equity qualified credit. Additional terms apply. NMLS 114937.
The Chiefs are going for the three-peat, and here is your chance to own a piece of history with the official Super Bowl game program. Delivered to your home. It's perfect for your Super Bowl party and a must-have for collectors. Order yours now at superbowlprogram.us. That's superbowlprogram.us.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-511-3535. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider, 800-511-3535. That's 800-511-3535. For $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with, call Big Lou at 800-511-3535.
At David's Bridal, love is in every stitch. From the initial sketch to the final details, each style is designed with exquisite craftsmanship. Every wedding gown, bridesmaid look, prom dress, and special occasion style in between features handcrafted details filled with love. Come see the magic in person. Book an appointment and sign up for Diamond Loyalty to save 15% on your first purchase. Earn points towards special rewards and more at davidsbridal.com.
Hey, nice job, Pete. I like those clean lines. Fellas, do we have anyone that can get to Greenport today?
At Corey's Landscaping, the staffing plan is in the weeds.
Anthony, we need that leaf blower over here. 3 more new customer requests just came in. Who wants to work some overtime?
He needs to dig up quality landscapers and fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
This afternoon, expect sunny skies with a high of 49.
Weather brought to you by Robert Half. Robert Half's recruiting professionals use their award-winning AI to connect businesses with highly skilled talent. Learn more at roberthalf.com/talent today.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison. Weekdays 2 to 6 on 96.5 The Fan.
You know what? I have to blame myself for something. We haven't given nearly enough credit to some of the unsung heroes from the win on Sunday. There are some guys that deserve a lot of credit for their assist in helping this team get back to another Super Bowl. To quote The Wire, all the pieces matter. A guy like Kareem Hunt, who was not on a roster in training camp, was not invited to anybody's training camp, has been an unsung hero for this team. Joshua Williams stepping in to help in the defense when some injuries happened deserves a lot of credit. A guy like Mike Pennell, Mike Dana, who has put together very good seasons helping on that defensive line. We're talking about unsung heroes, guys who have stepped in and helped make the plays that have helped this team get to the next level. But there's one player that we didn't talk about nearly enough that I want to spend a little bit of time talking about, and we got Patrick Mahomes set to join us coming up at 3:15. Nico Remigio has been great in special teams. So great that to this point, I'm ready to go ahead and pencil Nico in for next year's team in special teams. Now, maybe he'll never be the wide receiver that some of you thought that he could be. I know there was a time there where we were talking about Justin Ross and Nico coming in and being able to help this team. I think for the most part, fans have let that dream go. But if you're going to make this team, you better be able to help in special teams. You better be reliable in the special teams. If you're not going to be one of those wide receivers, this team is looking for Marcus Kemp. This team is looking for McCole Hardman as he's battling with injuries, unsure if he's going to be back with the Chiefs next season. This team has needed somebody to step up and be a valuable kick and punt returner. And Nico Remigio in the 2 postseason games has been a plus for this team in special teams. He absolutely has been an unsung hero for the Kansas City Chiefs. He went on with Kay Adams. Here's what Nico said.
You know, Trav had came up to me earlier in the game, and, you know, I had fair caught that first punt coming out the gates, and he was like, that's not being great, bro. And so I knew going into this next opportunity that I had, I'm like, I got to make something happen. And so I went and took a peek down the field and saw that the guys were, you know, it was going to be tight and it was going to be a quick play, and, you know, just made it happen.
That was Nico Remigio as he was on with Kay Adams and her show Up and Adams. Nico, great stuff, man. That's how you earn a roster spot. Maybe it's not in Kansas City next year. I certainly think that it will be, but who knows? I can't see into the future. But I can tell you this much. You have certainly proven that you are an NFL player, no question. No question. You will be on somebody's roster next year, and I think that place is going to be in Kansas City. Now, ball security a little shaky, and you have certainly put the ball on the turf a couple of times. You're 25 years old. It's your first year in the NFL. Those are things that we can work on. Those are things that we can coach. But you have been a positive when you have put the ball in your hands. You have been good. You have been reliable for the most part in special teams. I don't think it's crazy to think that Nico Remigio can make a play in the Super Bowl coming up next week. Could he flip the field on a punt return? Could he flip the field on a kick return? Could he be a plus for this team in special teams? I certainly think so, Rob, as we're sort of wrapping up the AFC Championship game and starting to look ahead toward the Super Bowl next week against the Philadelphia Eagles. I do want to spend a little bit of time in talking about the unsung heroes from this postseason. And Nico Remigio absolutely deserves to be in that conversation as somebody who has been a plus special teams player for the Chiefs.
Listen, I'm not trying to discredit Remigio because he's been sensational. But honestly, Dave Toub has had that whole unit, whether it be punt return, punt block, kick return, kick blocking, kicking. He's had that whole unit humming all year long. Like, Steve Spagnuolo gets a lot of credit, and he deserves it. The defense has been great this season, been an incredible defensive coordinator. But Dave Toub got back to being that dude for special teams. They had 3 different kickers this year. Did you ever seem to notice? They just kept chugging along, no problems. Nico Remigio has had 2 big returns in the postseason. A guy that was a camp darling when it was rookies and quarterbacks is making major plays in January. That's fantastic news. They had Kai Fairbairn last week in an absolute torture chamber because he couldn't make a kick to save his life. They had the block kick to win the game earlier this year against the Broncos. Like, Nico Remigio is a example of what Dave Toub has been doing. That unit has been great. And I know we're talking about unsung heroes, and Nico deserves all the credit, but let's applaud the special teams coordinator. That's not what we talk about a lot on the show because it's the opposite of a sexy job, but Dave Toub has that unit humming. And in the playoffs, it has been an absolute plus for this team.
One thing that we didn't talk a lot about during the season, I imagine will come up at some point next week, is I think a major reason of why they changed the kickoff rule last year was last year's Super Bowl. There was not a kickoff in last year's Super Bowl. There was not a single return from either team, not from Kansas City, not from San Francisco's, 2 teams that have very explosive players. I think the league looked at it and wanted to make a change and wanted to improve the sport. Well, the numbers are here. If you hate the kickoff rule, I don't know what to tell you because the kickoff rule worked and they are absolutely keeping it. They released the information now that the season only has 1 game left. They saw a 57% increase in returns. They saw more returns go past the 40-yard lines. And I think what the league really cares about the most is they saw a lower injury rate with this system than they had with the old system of kickoff returns. So you were telling me they have found a way to put a little juice back into the game. I don't think it's realistic to think that you're going to have every kick returned. I also don't know if the league wants every single kick returned. But they have incentivized you to run the ball out. They've incentivized you to kick it in an area in which the ball can be returned. They've seen an increase in returns. They've seen an increase in where the ball is placed for starting position for the offense, and they've seen injuries go down. The league did something dynamic. The league did something different. It has worked. It's not perfect, and I understand if you don't know every single rule about it, even though I think they've done a pretty good job explaining it. The league took a chance in trying something dynamic, something new, something fresh, and it has worked for the most part. And the reason we're talking about this in relation to Nico Remigio is he's going to have a chance to return a kick in the Super Bowl. That might not have been the case last year. No one returned a kick last year in the Super Bowl. So if Nico Remigio gets, 3-4 opportunities in this game to return a kick, you get a couple in the first half, maybe the Eagles kick off in the second half, you get a punt return. Nico's going to have a chance 4 or 5 times to make a play that impacts this Super Bowl. He is absolutely going to be a determining factor in who wins this game. Can you make a play? Can you return a punt return for a touchdown? Can you return a kick return for a touchdown? Do you put the Chiefs in plus field position so they can go out there and score? The kickoff rule has worked, and I think Nico has certainly proven himself as a very capable option when we are talking about special teams when it comes to the Chiefs. Coming up in about 20 minutes, we'll be joined by the quarterback of the Kansas City Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes. I got a chance to catch up with him earlier today. We'll play that for you coming up in a bit. Coming up, Nick Wright has been making all the media rounds. I'll play something that he said. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your new home for K-State Athletics, 96.5. The Fan, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Presenting A Gain Flings Love Story. Dear love of my life, we were on the 12B bus this morning when I caught a whiff. A scent so fresh, so life-changing, I had to find its source. Alas, I didn't know if you were the woman in the pink freshly washed cardigan or the retired mailman next to me, but I knew one of you was my soulmate. Ah, the scent of Gain Flings. Try Gain Flings with OxyBoost and Febreze.
MD Anderson Cancer Center is again ranked #1 in the nation for cancer care by U.S. News & World Report's Best Hospitals rankings. Our physicians treat more types of cancers in a day than many see in their whole career. This unmatched depth of expertise, combined with our groundbreaking discoveries, gives our patients access to the most innovative treatment options. Learn more at mdanderson.org.
Super Bowl 59, one game, two teams, endless possibilities, and there's no better way to make every play more exciting than with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook app. So it doesn't matter if you're predicting who's going to score the first touchdown or who's going to win the MVP trophy. FanDuel makes it easy to place your favorite wagers and feel the thrill of the moment. And with live betting all game, you can jump right into the action and ride that wave from kickoff to the final whistle. Plus, to make the Super Bowl even sweeter, new customers can score $200 when you make your first bet. Yes, place a $5 bet, and if you win, you'll get $200 in bonus bets. So download the app or head to FanDuel.com, use my promo code KFNZ, and bet with FanDuel, official partner of Super Bowl 59 and 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Kansas. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issue is non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expires 7 days after street restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under agreement Kansas Art Casino, LLC. Gambling problem. Getting help is your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700. Visit ksgamblinghelp.com.
At University of Maryland Global Campus, we give our students credit where credit is due. Credit for deciding in the middle of rush hour traffic to go back and get their bachelor's and a promotion. Credit for managing 3 kids, 2 dogs, and a full-time job to pursue an MBA. And credit for serving in the military by day so they can study cybersecurity at night. For over 75 years, we've been helping students receive the credit they deserve. With more than 135 degrees and certificates, students at UMGC can use prior learning or relevant experience to earn up to 90 credits toward a bachelor's, and graduate students can transfer up to 12 credits toward their master's. At UMGC, you'll find everything, online to hybrid courses, lifetime career services to scholarship opportunities, making your education journey flexible, fast, and affordable. Apply now and save with no application fee. Classes start February 12th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
Whether you're ordering wings for the game, whipping up a 7-layer dip, or ordering pizza, there's something about football that makes you want to eat. And this football season, Uber Eats has the best deals on game day food. No matter what you're craving, from 2-for-1 pizza to buy one, get one wings, Uber Eats will be dropping new deals each week, all season long. Uber Eats, official on-demand delivery partner of the NFL. Order now. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details.
Mornings can start feeling the same. Wake up, brush teeth, go to work. But with breakfast from Wendy's, it's like, wake up, brush teeth, Baconate with a breakfast Baconator. Roll with the sausage breakfast burrito. Buddy it up with a honey buddy. Or get seasoned with seasoned potatoes. And then go to work. Sorry. When you're ready for a fresh wake-up call, gotta be Wendy's.
At participating U.S. Wendy's during breakfast hours.
Chiefs coverage is brought to you by Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, the Scratch Kitchen delivers lunch in the clutch. I mean, where else can you order a 29-degree draft beer and a quickie combo on your lunch break? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
The Chiefs are headed to New Orleans, and so is 96.5 The Fan. Fesco and Dusty will be live from Radio Row, or shall we say, Bourbon Street, starting on Monday with the biggest names in sports and pop culture. Then, don't miss the play-by-play of Super Bowl 59 on Sunday with Mitch, Danon, and Kling, with exclusive access to Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes, and the post-game locker room. Your new home for Chiefs football, 96.5 The Fan. Congratulations, Kansas City. The Chiefs are headed to Super Bowl 59 in New Orleans. 96.5 The Fan, KFNZ FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
Coming up in about 15 minutes, we'll be joined by the quarterback of the Kansas City Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes, set to join us on the show today. If you missed the open of the show, sometimes the people that stand up for you are the people that you would expect it the least. Julian Edelman, he certainly understands all the backlash that the Chiefs have received the last couple of days and simply tells these other teams, this is a you problem.
When you're on top, everyone wants to try to bring you down. It's a bunch of baloney that the league is helping the Kansas City Chiefs. If you got a problem with it, go beat them. Okay, the refs aren't involved in when you throw interceptions, when you fumble the ball, when you jump off sides, when you don't convert third down or fourth down or third and fourth down for short 4 times. They can't control that. Like, if you want to beat them, go beat them. Don't talk about it. Be about it. I'm so sick and tired of hearing people say that about the Chiefs. Do business as business is being done with the referees. We all have scouting reports on each ref crew on how they like to throw the game. You learn about it during that first part of that game. If they're calling it tight, you tighten back. If they're not, you just hope that they're consistent throughout the whole thing, which they usually are. And yes, they miss calls and they do these things and there's bad calls here and there, but there's a handful of roughing the passers for guys that don't even have a resume that you looked at this year that got the call. If it's close, leave it alone. Yeah, they'll probably have to address that sideline awareness stuff, but these whole graphics about they get the call and they don't get the call. They don't give the call to them because they're coached better.
Julian Edelman earlier today was on Rich Eisen's show talking about this. I can't agree more with Julian Edelman. And if there is anybody that can certainly understand all the backlash that comes with being the best team in the league, whatever team you are a fan of, the Patriots, they beat your team over a 20-year stretch way more than you beat theirs. And they probably beat your team in a really important game. Chiefs fans, you certainly know the Patriots beat the Chiefs a couple of times, knocked them out of the postseason. Man, you just got to figure out a way to go be better than them. And that's not what we've seen. It's not what we've seen with the Baltimore Ravens. That's not what we've seen from the Philadelphia Eagles, San Francisco, Buffalo. Name the great team over the last 4 years or so. They just haven't figured out a way to be better than Kansas City over a full 60-minute stretch. So go be better. Let's see how Buffalo can retool that defense. Let's see if they're back. Let's see what the Ravens do this offseason. Let's see if Cincinnati can make the postseason. They've missed it the last 2 years. Let's see how the rest of the AFC responds, because looking at Kansas City next year, I think they're going to return a pretty significant part of this core next season. Patrick Mahomes is going to be back. I think Isaiah Pacheco will be healthy. I think the Chiefs are going to add a running back this offseason. You're going to get Rashee Rice back at some point with Xavier Worthy. We'll see what other moves that they make. Man, I know the Chiefs are going to be there. So you're going to be in this same position a year from now where it's going to come down to 1 or 2 plays. You're going to have to figure out a way to be better than them. And we just haven't seen an AFC team able to do that in quite some time. All right, I want to play this for you guys before Patrick Mahomes comes on the show in just a little bit. Nick Wright has been making all the media rounds lately. He was on Adam Schein's show earlier today. We're working on getting Adam Schein to join us next week to give you his thoughts on Super Bowl 59. Nick Wright was on Dan Le Batard's show. He was on Dan Patrick's show. He has been making the media rounds. Nick has certainly been the voice of Chiefs fans as they have been receiving arrows from everywhere. No one wants to just give the Chiefs credit for what they've been able to do and how dominant they've been the last couple of years. Nick Wright, he will carry that flag alone.
People talk about NFL quarterbacks like there's a big four. There isn't. It's not Patrick, Josh, Lamar, and Burry. To misquote Kendrick Lamar, it's not a big three, it's a big me, and it's Patrick. That's why I use the Sopranos analogy. I love Christopher and Paulie and Silvio, but here's the thing. It's not their story. The show's called The Sopranos, and it's about Tony. And the NFL in the 2020s is about Patrick Mahomes. There are 4 major trophies: league MVP, Super Bowl MVP, conference, Super Bowl. Here is the current trophy count. Josh Allen, 0. Joe Burrow, 1. Lamar Jackson, 2. Patrick Mahomes, 13. These guys are not standalone historic figures. They are different moons orbiting around the planet that is Patrick Mahomes. He is the main character of the NFL this decade.
That was Nick Wright on his podcast earlier today talking about the Kansas City Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes. We discussed it yesterday during the Open that Patrick's legacy is really twofold. Patrick's legacy is wrapped up in his own greatness. Patrick's been in 20 playoff games. The Chiefs have won 17 of those. The Chiefs are headed to their 5th Super Bowl. Patrick Mahomes has the 2nd most playoff wins of any quarterback in Super Bowl history. Like there are so many stats that are directly related to, hey, he different. There's a bunch of stats that are out there that you can point to and reference and say, oh, Patrick is special. Patrick is different than all of the rest of these quarterbacks. So that is one side of the coin for Patrick Mahomes. It is his dominance, his greatness, the incredible amount of accolades that he's achieved at this point in his career, and I don't really see that stopping or ending anytime soon. That's one half of the story. The rest of the story and the part that we are still filling in with Patrick Mahomes is how his greatness has kept so many others from it. You just heard it. There's 4 major awards. Patrick has 13 of them. The most anybody else has is 2. Josh Allen's never been to the Super Bowl before, never won MVP. He's never reached whether it's the individual success or team success that Patrick Mahomes has been able to reach. So again, the story of Mahomes is not just, hey, I'm so great. Yeah, that's part of it. Man, the other part of the story is how your greatness has impacted everybody else. And if you look at the AFC right now, you are looking at a lot of quarterbacks where their primes are all lining up simultaneously. Josh Allen's prime, Lamar's prime, Joe Burrow's prime, Trevor Lawrence's prime. See, all of these guys' primes are really close to one another. Man, you just happen to play the same prime that Patrick Mahomes has. And maybe you end up getting one, right? Maybe C.J. Stroud ends up getting one. Maybe Trevor Lawrence ends up getting one. Maybe all these other quarterbacks eventually, Rob, figure out a way to get to the Super Bowl, and they're the team that gets to say, we ended this run with the Kansas City Chiefs. But all of you guys have taken your best shot. Lamar had a home game last year. Josh Allen had a home game last year. A lot of these quarterbacks have at least had the opportunity on the biggest stage, and very few of them have ever had success at this point in the season in beating Patrick Mahomes.
First things first, be honest. You had me pull that because it was a Sopranos reference. And you told me yesterday on this show, I haven't been able to get a Sopranos reference in recently. And
Good point. No,
lo
fair.
and behold, Nick Wright just has the perfect one. We got to get this audio into the system, Rob. We got to get it played.
I might have gave it to him. Who knows?
When Nick does tomorrow on his podcast and Entourage one, I'm going to call foul play. It just seems like too much could be connected.
Yeah, maybe. Who knows?
He's going to call him, hey, you know what? He's more Vincent Chase than he is E, and I'm going to lose my mind.
Oh, for sure.
Anyway, that stat is mind-blowing. I knew that Patrick Mahomes was ahead of his contemporaries. Like we all did. We have eyes. We watch the NFL. But that is staggering. The combination of Allen, Jackson, Burrow with the major trophies is at 3. No Super Bowls, 1 AFC title, 2 MVPs. Patrick Mahomes at 13. 13. It could be 14 by this time, in a week and a half? He could be at 14 and his contemporaries can be at 3. Now, as I said yesterday with Allen, I think he eventually gets one. I don't know that number is going to end 31-0 or 31-6. Eventually, I think those guys break through, but goodness gracious. It is just, maybe there isn't a Peyton Manning, because Peyton Manning was winning MVPs and going to conference championship games, and at least was in the conversation. And we feel like, oh, Big Ben kind of snuck in. We have spun the wheel, and each one of those 3 guys has come up at a different time of that's Mahomes' guy. That's the one-on-one matchup. And in reality, as a grouping, they don't compare. It's just the next 2 weeks, I feel like every stat I hear about Mahomes is going to become more and more astonishing because it's a forest for the trees element. You're in it. you're working every day, you're watching Mahomes every week, and you feel like, oh, he didn't play his best, but they still were able to beat the Raiders. That's good. And then you get these moments where you can take a 10,000-foot view and you realize, oh, who cares about the Raider game? He's doing things that we've never seen before.
I think it's hitting me, at least looking at it through this way, is I think we have known for maybe, I don't know, the last 18 months that the Chiefs are a dynasty. Because remember, there was a time that we were debating it, and people were like, well, you got to do X to be a dynasty. And then the Chiefs did X, and it's like, all right, yeah, you're right. All right, so fine. Everyone can acknowledge that we are in the middle of a dynasty. If you have been to 5 of the last 6 Super Bowls and you've won 3 of them already, there is no question, there is no debate that you have a dynasty. Now the debate is, and I think it comes down to one more game. If the Chiefs win next Sunday, they are the greatest dynasty that the league has ever seen. The league has had 6, 7 of those dynasties. Almost every generation is defined by one of them. The 70s, you had the Dolphins, you had the Steelers. In the 80s, you had San Francisco. In the 90s, you had the Dallas Cowboys. The 2000s, the Patriots. The 2010s, you had the New England Patriots. Every decade of football is defined by one team simply being better than everybody else. If the Chiefs win next Sunday, they will be the greatest dynasty that the league has ever seen. They will have put together a 6-7 year stretch that no one in league history can match. I don't want to hear about your old AFL, Bart Starr, Roger Staubach. We're talking about a salary cap league. We're talking about a 18-game, 18-week, only one team gets a bye schedule in the NFL. It's really hard to make it to one Super Bowl. They've not just made it to one Super Bowl. They've been to 5 of them and won 4 of them and won 3 of them in a row. There will be no debate. I will not listen to the other side. If the Chiefs beat the Eagles next Sunday, they will be the greatest dynasty that the league has ever seen. Coming up in just a bit, we'll be joined by the quarterback of the Kansas City Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes. I got a chance to catch up with him earlier this morning. I'll play that conversation for you next. Keep it right here. It's The Drive on 96.5 The Fan.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison.
This man was a bona fide scrub.
On 96.5 The Fan, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Attention car shoppers, Kevin Harlan here with Rob Sight of Rob Sight Ford in South Kansas City. Hey Rob, what's going on?
We are making 2025 the best year in Rob Sight Ford history, and we are doing it with 4 simple steps.
Simple is what I love most about Rob Sight Ford. So Rob, what's the plan?
It starts with Rob Sight Ford's non-commissioned sales staff, Kansas City's lowest prices on brand new Fords, the best trade-in values, the biggest selection we've ever had. With those 4 steps, it is my personal mission to make Rob Sight Ford the easiest, most value-driven Ford dealership in Kansas City. No BS.
That's why Rob Sight Ford is the only dealership I'll send my friends and family to. But you're forgetting one thing.
What's that?
Rob Sight Ford is Kansas City's top-rated Google Ford dealership.
Good call. Can't forget about that. Check out Rob Sight Ford in South Kansas City at 135th and State Line, ROBSIGHT.com.
Planning to propose this Valentine's Day? Shane Company has your back. Our easy process to create your dream engagement ring is rock solid. 1, pick your ring setting. 2, choose your center stone. 3, personalize it. With our wide selection of beautiful settings and hand-picked diamonds and gemstones, all at competitive prices, your ring will be as unique as your love story. We'll hand-set your ring in our jeweler's workshop right here in our store and protect it with our free lifetime warranty. Walk in with a dream, walk out with the ring that will take their breath away. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Check engine light on? Take the guesswork out of your check engine light with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body? Huh? That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture. With daily use.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
Okay, so that's with bacon, cheese, lettuce, tomato, grilled onions, ketchup, and hold the pickles.
You know what you like. You wouldn't order your burger just any way. Why should your sports talk be any different? With Chapters on the free Odyssey app, you can choose the topics that matter to you most. Whether it's reactions, matchup previews, injury updates, or team news, quickly find what you really care about. Your football talk, your way. Download the free Odyssey app and start listening today.
In a world that moves a million miles a second, Haagen-Dazs invites you to slow down and savor every delicious bite. Take it one almond at a time with the Haagen-Dazs Vanilla Milk Chocolate Almond Bar. Madagascar vanilla, rich milk chocolate, and toasted California almonds make this unmatched icon legendary. Whatever Dazs you savor, a snack bar or your favorite flavor, say goodbye to the fast life and hello to savoring the finest ingredients and the richest and creamiest ice cream. That's Dazs, available at retailers nationwide.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks Vapors in an easy-to-apply stick, and it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapo Stick. Soothing comfort for the whole family. And when you need more comfort for yourself, try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks Vapors.
Use as directed. Vapo Stick for use ages 4 and up. Vapo Shower Max use for adults only.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Missouri side, 71 northbound sluggish from 87th up towards Gregory. Past that, off again, on again. The slowdown to 55th Street. Kansas side, 35 northbound sluggish from Antioch up towards Mission with construction at the exit. From the Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric Traffic Center, Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan. Traffic.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios. He's the best quarterback in the NFL. He's taken your Chiefs to the mountaintop 3 different times.
Mahomes moving to his left laterally, chased, holding it, and gets out of bounds and up the sideline. He's not out of bounds yet. He's at the 10, inside the 10, he dives for the end zone. Touchdown, Kansas City.
And he sits down with one show across the entire country for an exclusive one-on-one interview. Your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan. Here's Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes on The Drive.
Earlier today, I got the opportunity to catch up with the quarterback of the Kansas City Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes. I am about 98% sure that this will be the last time that we talk to Patrick Mahomes this season, so certainly gracious of his time. I know that this is a very busy time as the Chiefs are preparing to go back to the Super Bowl. Our conversation started off with congratulations on making it to another Super Bowl.
I appreciate you, man. It's always awesome. I'm glad that we're back in it.
Absolutely, man. Let's just start with this. You obviously have dreams as a kid, and it's to play in these kind of games. What is it like to be living out your dreams where you haven't just gone to one Super Bowl and won one? You have won 3, and you have a chance to do something that no quarterback in the history of the Super Bowl era has ever accomplished.
Yeah, I mean, it's very surreal. I mean, obviously, this is what your goal is at the end of every season, to get to this game and to win it. But you know how hard it is, and I think the more times you go, you understand how hard the process is even more. And to be able to have a team that is this locked in and able to go out there and treat every week like it's supposed to be treated so they can get yourself in these moments, it's a surreal feeling, and I'm truly appreciative of it.
You've obviously done this before. What is the best thing about Super Bowl week?
I think the best thing is just getting to where everybody can see everybody's personality on the team. I mean, obviously, the week of practice and building those memories with the guys, and then the media comes and they get to see everybody on the team. And what makes this team so special is the personalities that we have, and it's cool because I get to see that from a different perspective now that I've been there a couple of times.
I was going to mention that. You've been there a couple of times. What have you learned most about this Super Bowl week? Is it game preparation? Is it time management? You obviously have another child. You have 3 children now, family, responsibilities, obligations. What have you learned most about Super Bowl week and how to handle everything that comes with it?
I think just making sure that you know what to expect. I think that's the biggest thing. So it's not like anything catches you by surprise. I mean, you understand there's an uptick in media and there's different things you have to do during Super Bowl week. But you can get the game plan in and you know what time you can do that and what time you can watch film. And we're such creatures of habit, being quarterbacks and being football players, that you want to get all your different stuff in. And I'm able to do that now because I have a plan just with the different experiences I've had in different Super Bowls.
Patrick, when you talk about that plan, how exactly do you communicate that with everyone else? Or is it something you got to let guys experience that journey for themselves? I'm sure a lot of people, quarterbacks, gave you advice as you headed into your first Super Bowl that you obviously took some of that advice, but you had to go through it for yourself as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit of both of that. I mean, I just make sure to stay on guys about getting their stuff done and making sure that they keep the main thing, and that's the football game that we're going to play, and then you can enjoy the other stuff as well. But I tell them you really can enjoy it if you win the game. So if you just want to focus in during the week and try to do whatever you can to give yourself the best chance, I think you can go out there and get the win, hopefully, and then enjoy it after.
Right now, we're talking to the quarterback of the Kansas City Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes, joining us on the show today. Patrick, there is a video of it, and obviously you remember this. You were part of the conversation where you're talking to Travis, you're talking to Chris Jones about a three-peat and how important that it is. What is it like to be so close to a goal that you guys set a year ago?
Yeah, I mean, this is part of it, man. I mean, your goal is to go out there and win the Super Bowl, and we were talking about that on the stage last year, but we knew it was going to be a long process. It was going to be hard, and we kind of went through it the entire season, but we haven't done it yet. I think that's the thing that we have to remember, is that you have to still put in the work and know that we're playing a great Philadelphia Eagles team, and it's going to take our best football in order to get a win, and we're going to go out there and prove it and do that if we want to kind of complete that goal.
Obviously, every run has been different for you guys. You know, you started this journey. You had Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill. You traded Tyreek Hill. You've gone through injuries and all of that thing. What about this journey has been unique compared to the other times that you guys have made it this far?
Yeah, I mean, obviously I don't want to say anything bad about any team or any player, but I think just how complete this football team is, and it really is everybody. I mean, everybody on the entire roster has made an impact on this team and made big plays and big moments this whole entire season, and I think that's what makes this team so special. Is it's not just one guy, it's not just offense, not just defense. It's everybody on the entire team is making their imprint on this game and this season, and I think it's special, and hopefully we can go out there and complete the job.
I got a couple of questions about the AFC Championship game. We don't have to get all the way into it, but I'm sure you have heard a lot of noise around you guys and how you win. Do you guys take that as a motivating factor heading into this? Is that something that has put a chip on you guys' shoulder?
I think more than anything, man, we just want to prove who the team we are and how we go about our business every single week. And we feel like we play the game the right way. We play extremely hard, and everybody goes out there and gives everything they have in order to win for team success. And I think if we continue to do that week in and week out and into the Super Bowl on a huge stage, people will appreciate us when they look back at their season and how we did it.
Do you guys have maybe a word to describe it? I mean, the word for me would just be annoying. It is just frustrating that after every game, it is just a similar kind of controversy and sort of conversation around it. Is there a word that you feel for all of this noise circulating you guys wins?
No, not necessarily. Honestly, I mean, I know how we do it. I know about the business that we work with every single day and how hard we work, and how guys have kind of sacrificed so many things in order to go out there and be in these type of football games. And so the outside world doesn't really bother me that much. I see the work that guys put in every single day and understand how good this football team is.
I am curious to get your thoughts on this about spot of the ball and how, if there is a better way to do it. Do you have an easy solution? People have said lasers. People have said put a chip in the football. You've been in these short yardage situations. Do you think there is a solution to make sure that we get the right call, so to speak?
The NFL will keep working and trying to find better ways to do it, but at the end of the day, you have to go out there and make it clear and obvious that you get the first down or you get the touchdown, and you want to do that, and then you don't have to worry about replay or anything like that. I mean, it's just kind of part of the game. It's just like calling balls and strikes in baseball. I mean, at some point you just got to play the game and let the kind of football gods handle the rest. And if you go out there and play with the right mentality and leave it all out on the football field, you kind of live with the results. That's how I've always truly felt.
You've been to this multiple times, but there are some key teammates of yours that haven't been to this point. What is it like to help a guy like Kareem Hunt get to his first Super Bowl, Xavier Worthy in his first season, DeAndre Hopkins, who has had a lot of success in this league, never made it past the second round of the postseason. Now he's going to the Super Bowl. How rewarding is it to help those guys also get to this point so they get to experience Super Bowl week?
Yeah, it's super rewarding. I mean, especially for the veteran guys that haven't been there before, because it's a goal for everybody. And these guys are coming in, putting work in every single day to get to that game. And you want to go out there and have a great week, and then obviously try to get the win and build those memories. I mean, a bunch of my best memories are from Super Bowl week and just hanging out with the guys in the hotel room before the game. I mean, the game's awesome. Obviously, you always remember that, but I think those memories that you build up and the camaraderie of just being around each other for a full week and all your hard work paying off, I think that's stuff that you'll have for the rest of your life.
I'm big into movies, and just to see Kareem Hunt's sort of redemption arc has been really rewarding to see. You talk about the work that he has put in. There was a video after the AFC Championship game where he's walking around on the field, and there's the confetti, and you understand how much this means to him. How important was it for you to help him get to this point where I feel like he's going to be a star for the Super Bowl?
Yeah, I mean, it was extremely important. And the stuff that he had went through and how he's kind of matured and became a better person because of it, and just learned from his mistakes. And then to be able to come back and be in Kansas City, I mean, that's one of the first people I met when I was in Kansas City, and someone that was at my wedding, and that I have a lot of love for, and I know that he's dealt with his adversity and came back, learned from his mistakes, became a better person, and became a huge part of our football team. And I know all the guys are proud of him as well, and the way he carries himself every single day in the building and puts in the work. And that's why you're appreciative of the moments that you have, because you never know when these are going to be the last ones that you get.
How cool is it that Tom Brady is going to be on the call for this Super Bowl, and you got a chance to do something that even Tom hasn't done in his career, and he's done just about everything you can do as a football player?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's cool just because how great of a football player that he was, and I mean, obviously the relationship that I built with him is kind of a friendship now, and someone that I can talk to and listen to the advice from, and know that he's done it all the right way. And so for him to be able to call the game, hopefully we can find a way to get a win, and have that as someone is the GOAT, as the person that's calling the football game and getting his perspective on it when I go back and watch it with my kids one day.
Last thing here, Patrick, and I appreciate your time. Take us through this Doritos commercial. Like, you got your teammates in this commercial, and I'm curious what your favorite Dorito flavor is.
Oh, yeah. So the Doritos commercial was hilarious, man. And I was glad to get the teammates in there. And I mean, you're going to have some stars. I mean, when you have Creed and Chris, and you see their personalities, and Xavier and all these guys that we had in there, I mean, a lot of people are going to see the personalities that we have in this team, like I was talking about earlier. And my favorite flavor, I've been the original Cool Ranch guy forever, but I like the sweet and chili, the purple bag. And then the black bag is like my change up. Every once in a while they have this like tangy barbecue one that I'll throw in just to mix it up.
That is the quarterback of the Kansas City Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes, joining us on the show. You can catch him next Sunday for Super Bowl 59. Patrick, man, it certainly was a privilege to have you join us this season, man. Good luck in New Orleans.
I appreciate you.
Absolutely. That is the quarterback of the Kansas City Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes, joining us on the show. If you missed any part of his conversation, be sure to check it out on the podcast page or on 965thefan.com. I always knew that Patrick and I were one of kindred spirits. I always knew. I've just known, we've had enough conversations on and off the air that Patrick and I are really the same in a lot of ways. He and I like the exact same flavors of the Doritos. If you have in one hand the blue bag and in one hand the red bag, you can keep that red bag. Go and hand me that Cooler Ranch. I don't dislike the red bag. I think the blue bag is a little bit better. And if I'm trying to switch things up, the purple one, it is kind of tasty, I will admit. And the black bag, that's also not my go-to. I'm picking the blue bag. But if I do want to switch it up and get a little bit of that sweet heat, I'll go the black bag. I always knew it.
Listen, Patrick Mahomes does a lot of things exceptionally well. He's probably the best player in the NFL. He might go down as the best player in the history of the NFL. His taste buds are not one of those things. It's a red bag over blue bag all day. And the fact that you're siding with Patrick Mahomes is sick. Cool Ranch is the inferior Dorito all day. And if you're telling me, well, Patrick Mahomes prefers it, he puts ketchup on steaks. So you know what? I think his taste buds are in the wrong here.
I don't know if he puts ketchup on his steaks anymore. I know he might have back in the day. But we've all liked something when we were 22, 23 years old that now that you're 29 and now you're eating at these fine dining restaurants, you're telling me that you want me to believe that Patrick Mahomes, when he goes to an 801 Chop House, when he goes to a Ruth's Chris, when he's in Vegas going to some of the fine steakhouses, you're telling me that he's telling the waiter or waitress to bring him some ketchup? I don't believe that at almost 30 years old now, married with 3 kids. That was the young Texas Tech Patrick Mahomes. I don't think that Super Bowl MVP, billionaire, future NBA owner Patrick Mahomes, no, I don't think that he puts ketchup on his steak anymore. He's evolved past that.
I'm telling you right now, when Patrick Mahomes at 801 Chop House, he says, bring the hunts.
No, he doesn't. No, you're not gonna put that on my dog. No, we're not doing that.
And he would prefer those potatoes au gratin be dusted with Cool Ranch chips. Disgusting behavior.
No, the Cool Ranch are the best chips. This is what I'll tell you. Text line 913-586-7965. Which bag of Doritos are better, the blue bag or the red bag? The red bag, you want to know when the red bag goes perfect? During the Super Bowl, I imagine you're going to have some eats. That's what I'm guessing. I'm imagining you're going to have some eats. I would encourage you to go to Gates Barbecue or the other place. Maybe you don't go to either one of those places. Maybe you decide you want to make it for yourself. And boy, I love some Rotel. Is that a Two Americas thing? Or
no,
is that okay?
No.
I'm asking.
Rotel covers all Americas.
I'm asking. I don't know if that's. I'm just making sure. I want it to be 100%. When you grab that Rotel, I'm just saying. When you grab that Rotel, and you are deciding what chips you're gonna get, I don't need the regular tortilla chips. Give me that red bag. That red bag goes perfect with that Rotel. When you put that cheesy dip with that ground beef, oh my goodness. I'm telling you, it's a perfect combination, a perfect 1-2 punch. That's when the red bag comes in handy. But if I'm just sitting there and I'm just looking for a snack, like I'm just saying, I'm at the vending machine, I'm about to A4. Yeah, man, go ahead and give me that blue bag, man. That's what I want.
That's only because the red bag's sold out because people understand the superior one is gone.
Okay.
By the way, you put ground beef in your Rotel? I'm a spicy sausage guy in the Rotel myself.
See, that's what I mean. Two Americas. See, that's what I mean.
What's wrong with that?
That's exactly what I mean. Now you see what I'm talking about. Now you see what I'm. No, you put
ground beef.
You put 2 things in the Rotel.
Well, there's 3. There's Velveeta. There's the can of Rotel.
Okay,
and
but I'm
there's
saying
spicy Italian sausage.
See what I mean? You're trying to deviate from the playbook here. We don't need you to deviate from the playbook. Run HB dive. You know who you are? You're Josh Allen. You're trying to call plays. You're not spicy sausage. No, you can put 2 meats in the Rotel. Put the ground beef. Maybe you put ground turkey in there. So I guess we can put 3. Ground beef / ground turkey or chicken. That's it. It's all you can, there's nothing else. Don't put anything else in mine. But like, no, I don't do that. Don't put beans in your Rotel. Spicy sausage? What is going on here?
Gotta add some heat.
No, man.
You know what? This is just your adversity to spice showing up. We go to the other place, you get nachos, you're like, excuse me, I don't want any jalapenos on them. It might burn my tongue.
People on here talking about venison in the Rotel? Stop!
Chorizo's also a good idea. That's a good answer, too. I'd put chorizo in there. I've never done that, but it sounds like a nice addition.
Yo, what's going on here, man? I can't. Can we move on? Please don't, Rob. One day I'm going to bring you to one of my functions. You've met some of my friends, but I ain't brought you to the function. Don't put no spicy sausage in the Rotel, man. Just please don't. Don't bring some of them IPAs to the function, man. I'm telling you, you're going to get laughed at. I'm looking out for you because I care about you. I care about your feelings. That's why. Can we move forward? I don't want to talk about this anymore. People are talking about I put beans and venison in there, and I put Johnsonville broth. Okay, I don't want to talk about Rotel anymore. Not at all. Isn't it called cheese dip? See what I mean? Two Americas. Rotel's canned tomatoes. See what I mean? Two Americas. I don't want to talk. Let's move forward amicably. That's what we need to do. Let's move forward. Bill Belichick, he was on Pat McAfee's show earlier today, and Bill Belichick, he's just an ideas man. He's just an ideas man. I mean, I would be out recruiting right now and trying to get the talent right on North Carolina, but he's got time to just, pop on shows and finish his media obligations. I'm on Inside the NFL. I'm on Pat McAfee's show. Need to be out there working that portal, brother. That's what you need to be working. You need to be on the phone calls trying to get yourself some talent, get yourself some quarterback to avoid this 5-7 season you guys got loading up. But you know what, Bill? I'm not here to judge. Bill was on Pat McAfee show earlier. Maybe it was the Jim Gray podcast. No, he was on somewhere. And he was asked about would he rename the Lombardi Trophy. Here's what he said.
Players win games. You can't win games without good players. I don't care who the coach is. It's impossible. You can't win without good players. I found out when I had Taylor and Banks and Harry Carson, Pepper Johnson, Jim Burt, Everson Walls, all those guys of the Giants. And same thing, when we got good at Cleveland and then at New England. I mean, it's Brady, it's McGinnis, it's Vrabel, it's Bruschi, it's Corey Dillon, it's Randy Moss, Troy Brown, Lawyer Malloy, Ty Law, Rodney Harrison. Those are the guys that won the games. Man, I didn't make any tackles. I didn't make any kicks. That was Vinatieri that made that kick in 4 inches of snow. You got to have good players. And as a coach, you want to give your players a chance to win. You want to put them in a position where if they go out there and play well, they'll have a chance to win. That's what Coach Parcells taught me is there's always a way to win. You just got to figure out what it is, and you have to give the players a chance.
They don't name it the Star Trophy. It's named the Lombardi Trophy.
Maybe they should name it the Brady Trophy. He won 7 of them.
All right. I get he was a little tongue-in-cheek joking there at the end. I'm not going to overreact to him saying that they should rename the trophy. But I do have a good idea that I think most people would be on board with. They shouldn't rename the trophy that you win. Like, they shouldn't rename the Lombardi Trophy. That's a great name for the trophy. They should name the Super Bowl MVP award. That's what they should name. Rename that. Right? That's a good way to honor Tom Brady and what he's meant to the game. I know maybe you don't want to honor Tom Brady, but come on now. Tom, you have spent a lot of Sundays in February watching Tom Brady in that game. Rob, there's been, 59 Super Bowls? Tom's played in 10 of them. He's played in 10 of the 59 Super Bowls, and now he is calling the Super Bowl. I can't really remember too many Super Bowl Sundays where Brady has not been part of the story. So we don't need to you don't need to rename the Lombardi Trophy. Keep that what it is. No one knows what the name is for the Super Bowl MVP award. I mean, when you win the AFC Championship, it has an award, right? It's called the Lamar Hunt Trophy. I imagine that there's one for the NFC. I don't know because Chiefs can't win the NFC award. I don't know what the name of the award is, but I'm guessing it's something. Just name the Super Bowl MVP the Tom Brady MVP award. Great. Have Tom every year hand it to the person that wins, and it'll be great. I mean, he's already going to be there. Come down to the field. Hand it to him. Shake hands. Celebrate. Everybody loves Tom. That's how you do it. Simple. Very simple. Someone said that the NFC award is called the George Halas Award. That's a great name for the award. Halas. Phenomenal.
Listen, I agree with you. I don't think we should change the Super Bowl trophy. But the NFL does have a little bit of a problem because all their awards are named after people who were at the beginning. There are going to be historically great players who deserve something in the NFL record books or NFL legacy or NFL trophies or whatever named after them. Are we just going to stop naming things after people? Let's be honest. Tom Brady needs to have an award named after him. Maybe it's the Tom Brady MVP award. Maybe it's Tom Brady. I don't know. But Tom Brady played in 10 Super Bowls. He deserves to have something named after him. Patrick Mahomes one day could eclipse Tom Brady, which is just, in the best of ways, insanity to think of. He's just going to have nothing named after him. Hey, you were probably the greatest quarterback of all time, Patrick, but no name for you because too bad you played after we stopped naming things. That's not the system we got to be using. Maybe you name the quarterback wing at Canton, the Tom Brady wing of the Canton, Ohio. I don't know, but we can't just stop naming things because, oh, well, they're not as important a historical thing. Just name it after people.
No, I'm with you. I mean, I would be perfectly fine if they renamed all the awards. Somebody on the text line said they should rename the Comeback Player of the Year award after Damar Hamlin. I'm all for doing those things. I mean, there's a Walter Payton Man of the Year award.
Wait, Damar Hamlin never won that award, though.
I'm saying that they should. I don't have any problem with that if you name it the Damar Hamlin Comeback Player of the Year award. His story is pretty remarkable. I actually think this year that Damar Hamlin should win the award. Like last year, he was back. Damar Hamlin was playing football this year and had a pretty decent season. I'm all for they give him the award this year. So yeah, I'm with you. But let's get back to naming things. We used to name things: the Heisman Trophy, the Vince Lombardi Trophy. Now we don't think that any of the people that we get to watch, they're cool enough. Hey, Jerry West, you had the NBA logo for long enough. Why don't we rebrand it and change it to Michael Jordan? It can be his fadeaway on there. Let's start renaming things, updating them, giving them a little sprucing up. If you're telling me that Sierra Mist can become starry, we can start changing the names of some of these awards. Keep it right here. It's The Drive on 96.5 The Fan.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Incubus, live. Nice to know you. Performing the album Morning View in its entirety, plus the hits. July 8th, Starlight Theater. With special guest, Manchester Orchestra. On sale Friday, 10 a.m. at kcstarlight.com. Don't miss Incubus performing Morning View in its entirety, plus the hits. Part of the Capitol Federal Concert Series.
Missouri sports fans, I've got great news for you. Underdog is available to play in your state. With over 5 million happy players and $2 billion won, Underdog makes it fun and easy to cash in on all of your favorite athletes' performances. And with their Champs game, you could win up to 1,000 times your money just by choosing higher or lower on player stats. And they've got all your favorite leagues, teams, and stars to choose from. With Underdog's double flex option, you can even take 2 L's and turn them into a W. Recently, I won $98 on Underdog. Sign up and deposit now with promo code BOB to get up to $1,000 in bonus cash instantly. And if you're in Missouri, you'll get an additional $50 in bonus cash when you play your first $5 entry. That's promo code BOB. Must be 18 and over and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. $10 deposit minimum. See UnderdogFantasy.com for terms and conditions. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. It starts as a nuisance and you just put up with it, but then that awful joint pain impacts everything in your life. Walking, climbing stairs, even getting in and out of the car hurts. Hey, it's Bob Fesco. I'm talking about that always there joint pain in your knees, hips, shoulders, and back. But here's the good news. QC Kinetics. Groundbreaking treatments for arthritis pain. Long-term relief is now possible with no downtime. Tens of thousands of QC Kinetics patients would tell you, don't wait, make the call today. These new orthobiologic cellular therapies, including PRP treatments, can revitalize your joints without going under the knife. Look, joint pain doesn't get better with time, so before it's absolutely debilitating, see if you're a candidate for these life-changing regenerative treatments. Call QC Kinetics today for your free consultation. 816-412-6299. That's 816-412-6299. QC Kinetics off 435 in State Line and in Gladstone. 816-412-6299.
At David's Bridal, love is in every stitch. From the initial sketch to the final details, each style is designed with exquisite craftsmanship. Every wedding gown, bridesmaid look, prom dress, and special occasion style in between features handcrafted details filled with love. Come see the magic in person. Book an appointment and sign up for Diamond Loyalty to save 15% on your first purchase. Earn points towards special rewards and more at davidsbridal.com.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
Milo's Rewards Week is coming, and it's kind of a big deal. Members, get ready for 7 days of up to 40% off store-wide on hundreds of items. Save on the top brands in bath, tools, paint, and more. Our biggest member deals are on January 30th through February 5th. So if you're not a loyalty member, now's the time to join for free. Lowe's knows home improvement. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Details at lowes.com/terms. Subject to change.
Whether you're ordering wings for the game, whipping up a 7-layer dip, or ordering pizza, there's something about football that makes you want to eat. And this football season, Uber Eats has the best deals on game day food. No matter what you're craving, from 2-for-1 pizza to buy one, get one wings, Uber Eats will be dropping new deals each week, all season long. Uber Eats, official on-demand delivery partner of the NFL. Order now. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details.
Big game coverage on 96.5 The Fan is brought to you by Community America Credit Union. Member owned, open to all, invested in you. Join today at communityamerica.com. Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Missouri side, 71 northbound sluggish from 87th up towards Gregory. Past that, off again, on again, the slow down to 55th Street. Kansas side, 35 northbound sluggish from Antioch up towards Mission with construction at the exit. From the Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric Traffic Center, Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan. Traffic.
Chiefs fans, it's Nick Bolton, MIZ. Welcome to The Drive with C-Dot on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
All right. I want to get back to very serious sports things coming up in a bit, but I want to tell you a story about two of my friends. One is a sports point. The other one is not a sports point. All right. So this is the first part of the story. One of my good friends is a diehard KU fan. And as I was watching them play yesterday, I just texted him because I hadn't asked him, hey, what do you think of this KU team? Like, I know what I think about the KU team, but I don't want KU to win. So I'm actually kind of happy with the way the KU's basketball season is going. I mean, they got thumped by Missouri earlier this year. They don't look like they're going to win the league. This looks like a KU year that when it's over, we'll never talk about ever again. Kind of like how last year's was. I like when KU's like that. It makes me happy when that's a KU season because I don't get many of those. So I asked him. I wasn't trying to troll him. Hey, what do you think of this KU team? This is what my friend texted me. He said, I can't wait until their season is over. Hunter is overrated. DeJuan and KJ have reached their max as players, and I believe that Bill mismanaged the roster with AJ Storr and Griffin. If they make it out of the first weekend of the tourney, I'll be fairly surprised. Honestly, Carrington, they're just not an enjoyable team to watch. Rob, let me come to you here because you are the KU expert. Now, the one part I do feel like I can comment on because I try to stay out of KU fan business. I'm not a KU fan, so I try to stay out of it. I do think he's right about their three best players. I don't think that KJ Adams is improved at all in the last 3 years that I've watched him play. I do not think he is a better player. I don't at all, actually. I don't think that DeJuan is a better basketball player, really at all. He came in as a pass-first point guard that couldn't really shoot a whole lot. He is that exact same player 3 years later. I'm looking at Hunter Dickinson's game. I don't really see a whole lot of improvement in his game since he first came over from Michigan. That is what I have noticed with KU. I read to you another diehard KU fan's thoughts on this team, Rob. You are a season ticket holder. How do you feel about this KU team?
I feel like first off, you're right. I feel like in a different world, in a bizarro universe, KJ Adams and DeJuan Harris are beloved by KU fans because When they are put in a situation to succeed, they can do their role. Sixth man energy guy, pass first point guard. We never need more than 6 points. We saw both those things on a national title team that had multiple pros, and it was successful. They don't have multiple pros on this team, so they're being asked to do more than they can, and they're in a position to fail. The second part that you read out from your friend is the most perfect thing. I think Bill Self mismanaged the roster in the portal. And I think he did what a lot of college coaches do because the portal is so new. And they just tried to gobble up all the talent because it wasn't about fit. It wasn't about how it worked with his system. It wasn't about how they fit in with the roster as it currently sits. It was just, ooh, that player is good. I want him. I think to an extent, K-State's going through this problem. They have a bunch of square pieces that don't fit into round holes. KU has that. A.J. Storr's a volume shooter. That's never going to work in Bill Self, who doesn't defend. It's never going to work at Kansas. Why did you use all those resources and assets to go get him? Rylan Griffin is getting better, but he's a sixth man jump shoot only kind of guy. Why did you spend every ounce of energy trying to get him? He doesn't really fit as a starter. I know David Coit was good last night, but he is not a, makes the offense go type of player. He's a, I got to get my shots up Remy Martin type of player. That's just, Bill Self got in the portal and said, I want talent. And there's nothing wrong with that, but how the talent fits matter. And what I think you're going to see at Kansas and other schools is you're going to start to see what you see in college football. The general manager position is going to start existing in college sports because if you left Andy Reid to his own devices, he would want all the best players. He would just gobble up all the talent, regardless of fit or whatever. And I don't know that's what's best. Look what Andy Reid was doing when he was the GM head coach in Philadelphia. They added all of the big sexy names, and it was a disaster. So I think Bill Self's, reaping what he sowed, and he just tried to add a bunch of talent in the portal and didn't think about the fit and how it works within KU, what KU's trying to do.
Okay. That's thing one from one of my dear friends. I love him and appreciate him very much. That is what he told me yesterday about KU. Now, I want to talk to you about thing number two. Thing number two is every year for the AFC NFC championship game, my friends have the get-together over at my house. We have certain traditions that we do as friends. We don't really have Friendsgiving, but we have a big holiday party. It is always at the same person's house. I usually host the AFC NFC championship game. We go over somebody's house for the All-Star weekend festivities in the NBA. These are all things that, every friend group has. Well, this year, Rob, while I was hosting the AFC NFC championship game, one of my friends' little one broke my new lamp. Now, this is a pretty decent, nice lamp that I just bought. You remember, Rob, when I was redecorating my apartment, I was going around the city, going to these different furniture stores, and you know how when you see a lamp and you just say, I like that lamp. I like this thing. I want this thing in my home. I bought it. And I'm not going to tell you how much I paid for this lamp, but it's a good, sturdy lamp. Lamp ain't cheap. Kids are running around playing. They're being kids. Next thing I know, crack, shatter. I look down. The lamp that I went around looking for 2 days is now broken on the ground. You know what? Mistakes happen. Accidents happen. That's the game. Not that big of a deal. How do you approach this now with your friend? Should your friend have to pay for his kids that broke my lamp? I don't want there to be any strife and issue. This is one of my dear friends. I mean, friends like tomorrow, if I got married, I would ask this person to be in my wedding. He is my brother. How do you approach this situation? Because I'm sure this has happened to you before. Out there, text line 913-586-7965. Now I'm in the dark. Now I can't see. I'm sitting there, I'm trying to get ready for the show. I'm trying to watch television, and it's dark in the inside. It didn't used to be dark because I had this lamp that I like so much, giving me the proper wattage that I needed. How do you approach this situation? Do I go up to him and say, hey, you owe me? Do I send him a PayPal invoice? Do I ask him to Venmo me? How do I handle the fact that his little ones that are like my nephews, I love them, buy them Christmas gifts, they broke my lamp? How do I handle this?
Whew. The fact that he hasn't offered to take care of the lamp already is a little bit of poor taste for me. I think you got to send a Venmo request. Now, you can't be at Sharper Image getting the nicest lamp in the world. You got to go to Target and get a, hey, we're going to get by type of lamp. But I think you got to hit them with a Venmo invoice. Hey, I had to buy this because of you.
Text line 913-586-7965. The text line is saying that it's my fault. I knew we had kids around. The lamp's kind of like out of the way. It's like over in the corner. I wasn't thinking. There's no reason for kids to be over where the lamp was. Why would you be playing over there? The lamp's kind of out of the way. You don't even need to go up to the lamp to turn it on. You just step on the switch. Turns on. It's great. Now I'm in the dark. Now I can't see. I can't see. That's why I had to go to the KU game yesterday, because I can't see in the living room anymore. That's why. I just don't know how it would happen. I just don't know. Do I got to hit him up and say, hey, man, you know your little one broke my lamp. You know I didn't break it, and you didn't break it. We were sitting on the couch. You heard the same crack that I heard. And now look. Now I got to go replace this. Why? I know, it hurts. I'm torn up about it on the inside. I'm conflicted about what I should do. Very much conflicted. Coming up on the other side, we'll talk about the AFC Championship game ratings. A lot of people may tell you they are boycotting the Chiefs. No, they're not. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5, The Fan, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this. Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Missouri side, 71 northbound sluggish from 87th up towards Gregory. Past that, off again, on again. Slow down to 55th Street. Kansas side, 35 northbound sluggish from Antioch up towards Mission with construction at the exit. From the Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric Traffic Center, Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan. Traffic.
Wouldn't you like to take a vacation from your bills? Well, you can. With credit card balances at an all-time high and Golden Oak's 5.25% rate, you could be saving thousands of dollars after a simple phone call. Call today and get your cash in as little as 14 days and make no payments for 2 months. Call 913-890-GOLD.
Golden Oak Landing cured my blues.
6.19 APR, FHA, 15-year, 20% equity qualified credit. Additional terms apply. NMLS 114937.
Touchdown!
Chiefs coverage brought to you by Park & Go, the best deals on airport parking.
Tackle your airport parking needs at Park & Go. Always the best service and always the best price at bookparkandgo.com. Open 24/7 and all spots are covered. Reserve your spot today at bookparkandgo.com. Park & Go, family owned and operated.
Super Bowl 59, one game, two teams, endless possibilities. And there's no better way to make every play more exciting than with FanDuel Sportsbook. Whether you're predicting the first touchdown, who'll take home the MVP trophy, or the coin toss, FanDuel makes it easy to place your bets and feel the thrill of every moment. With live betting all game long, you can jump into the action, adjust your bets, and ride the wave of excitement from kickoff to the final whistle. Plus, to make the Super Bowl even sweeter, new customers can score $200 when you make your first bet. Just place a $5 bet, and if you win, you'll get $200 in bonus bets. Download the app or head to FanDuel.com/Alex and bet with FanDuel, official partner of Super Bowl 59 and 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Kansas. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under an agreement with Kansas Star Casino, LLC. Gambling problem? Getting help is your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700 or visit ksgamblinghelp.com.
Your skin tells a story. At KMC Dermatology and Med Spa, we understand that stress, time, and life can leave their mark, but it's never too late to refresh, renew, and restore your skin. With 25 expert providers across multiple locations, we make glowing skin easy. Same week appointments? Absolutely. Select Saturday appointments available? You got it. From medical dermatology to advanced aesthetic treatments, we're here to help you look and feel your best. Schedule your appointment today at KMCPA.com. KMC Dermatology and Med Spa. Beyond the surface.
At David's Bridal, love is in every stitch. From the initial sketch to the final details, each style is designed with exquisite craftsmanship. Every wedding gown, bridesmaid look, prom dress, and special occasion style in between features handcrafted details filled with love. Come see the magic in person. Book an appointment and sign up for Diamond Loyalty to save 15% on your first purchase. Earn points towards special rewards and more at davidsbridal.com.
In the dynamic world of programmatic ad buying, Viant is your ultimate CTV partner. Target with precision. Buy with confidence. Viant empowers you with AI-driven technology that reaches your audience where they engage most, ensuring your message hits home. And the campaign results? Transparent, thanks to Viant's advanced measurement suite. For media buyers who demand the best, Viant delivers. Viant, elevate your CTV campaign performance.
Chiefs coverage is brought to you by Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, it's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch every day from lunch to late night? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
You're listening to the home of the back-to-back-to-back AFC champion, Kansas City Chiefs. 96.5 The Fan, KFNZ FM and AM HD1 and HD2. Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
I'm here to tell you right now that a lot of people out there, they be lying, man. I know that's not correct grammar, but that's the only way to describe it. A lot of people out there, they be lying, man. You want to know how I know? This is how I know. The television ratings are out for the AFC Championship game. And did you know that Sunday's AFC Championship game was the third most watched non-Super Bowl football game that has ever happened? Think about that. Every year there's a Super Bowl, there has to be an AFC or NFC championship game. It was the third most watched one ever. People be lying, and this is why. Deep down, we all love dynasties because they're polarizing. Think about it like this. There are a lot of famous people, but there are some famous people that reach a certain level of fame that they become polarizing. Everybody has an opinion on them. If I ask you about Skip Bayless, you have an opinion on Skip. Think about how many people talk about sports for a living. There's a lot of people that you would say, I don't know who they are, that are doing very, very well for themselves. But Skip has uniquely positioned himself to be somebody that draws an emotion out of you. All of you have an opinion on Kim Kardashian. Maybe you think she's annoying. Maybe you think she is the most beautiful woman on the world. Nobody is like, she's okay. No, that's not the way they've positioned themselves. You care one way or the other. The reason we care about dynasties so much is because they reach this magical point. You watch a lot of sporting events where deep down you don't really care who wins. You watch regular season sports of other teams, right? You watch college basketball. This team's fine. I don't really care one way. I just want to see a good game. You go to a baseball game. The Royals win. It's not life or death. It's cool. I just want to come out here, man. Hey, maybe the home team wins. Get a hot dog, get a beer. Hey, my kids are out here. We watch a lot of sporting events that you don't care who wins and loses. Everybody cares on whether the Chiefs win or lose. Either you really want them to win to further the storyline for whatever it is. You love Travis. You love seeing Taylor Swift happy. You like their quarterback. You like their coach. Whatever it is, you are on their side. But I think we all know, especially right now, there are a lot of people that want to see the Chiefs lose. So they tune in and you watch it for just that reason. I've told myself that I will go to Allen Fieldhouse until I see them lose a game in person because I will have accomplished everything. I've seen a lot of cool things in my life. I've had a chance to meet a lot of cool people doing this job. You know what I've never seen? I've never seen KU lose a game at Allen Fieldhouse. I want to be there one time when that happens. I want to be able to leave Allen Fieldhouse with that smile on my face. Yes, I hate watch Kansas. I mean, I do it for my job because I have to, but I also hate watch them and secretly hope that they lose. They're my Kansas City Chiefs. Some of you feel the same way. Don't let anybody tell you that they don't care about the Chiefs. Yes, they do. You either want to see the hero continue to win and you want to see Batman get the girl at the end of the movie, or you want to see the Joker destroy Gotham and tear up the city. That's what the Chiefs have become. They have become the ultimate sports story. We love dynasties. You want to know the last time the NBA was super popular? It was when the Warriors were really, really good. It was kind of cool to see one team win. It was fun to see one team win. And then eventually we're like, yeah, I kind of want to see somebody else beat them. We really love the Heatles. You either wanted to see LeBron get his first championship, or you used the fact that they lost in 2011 against the Dallas Mavericks as a reason for why LeBron is not the greatest basketball player of all time. The Chiefs have reached a very, very special class of polarizing. Everybody has an opinion on the Chiefs. You think that the league is rigged. You think that they're doing everything to make sure that the Chiefs win, or you want to tell them to shut up and be better. That's what creates great drama. We talk about this all the time, Rob, in college basketball, how college basketball doesn't have heroes or villains anymore. There's no team that you cheer against anymore in college basketball. Rob, when you and I were coming up, you know who we all hated? Duke. I don't really hate Duke anymore. For what? For what reason? I could only tell you one player on this Duke team. That's not how it always used to be. We used to know Duke's whole starting five. You knew Duke as well as you knew Kansas. Not anymore. Duke's not polarizing anymore. In fact, there's not that many teams that I would say are polarizing today in sports. The Chiefs are one of those teams. The Lakers are still one of those teams. There's still some of those teams around. Don't make it sound like there's none of them. But the Chiefs are number one on the list. For the AFC Championship game on Sunday to be the third most watched non-Super Bowl game ever tells me everything I need to know. It was the perfect combination of everything. It's your quarterback. It's the storyline of them potentially going for 3 in a row. It's Josh Allen, who hasn't won one. Now he's in the same position that Patrick Mahomes used to be. You got Travis Kelce there, one of the league's biggest stars. You know Taylor Swift is going to be shown on the television, so people are watching over that. You're watching it for all of these different things. The Chiefs have found a way to make everybody care. And that's really hard when you have all the different entertainment sources that are out there, when there's games constantly on television that you don't care who wins or loses. The Chiefs have found a way to make everybody care. This game will be one of the 5 most watched television events ever. Why? The storylines. You got the redemption arc for Jalen Hurts going back to the Super Bowl. You got Patrick Mahomes trying to do something that no one's ever done before. You got Tom Brady on the call of the Super Bowl. It's the ultimate reality TV show. And you know what we know about Americans? They love reality television. That's what the Chiefs are. They are a reality television show, and 57.4 million people in the United States tuned in to watch it on Sunday.
The Chiefs are, I don't have an analogy, but we all know that thing. There is a thing that becomes popular, and then once that thing becomes popular, there's a wave of people that hate it strictly for popularity. I have an in-law who hates Apple. It's not because Apple products are bad. It's not because he, dislikes the interface, the pricing. There is nothing about Apple products he hates. You know what he hates? That Apple is popular, and it drives him insane, so he's team Android forever. He can be wrong. That's cool. Be wrong. But he is angry at the notion that Apple is popular and fights like all get out to be anti-Apple. That's the Chiefs. There are people who are very casual football fans right now in Arizona, in Las Vegas, in New Jersey where the Jets play. They're casual. They enjoy their team, whatever. But they're getting mad because the Chiefs are becoming popular and it's bothersome to them. So they're going to become team Android. Any team on the field against the Chiefs, that's who I'm cheering for.
100%.
And you know what? That is the absolute best place to be. I'm happy that we talked about KU basketball earlier because for a while, Kansas basketball in town was that team.
They still are to me.
They probably 100% still are.
I only have 2 favorite teams, Missouri and whatever team is playing KU.
Do you know what Jerome Tang and Co.'s fan base is going to talk about in March? Who beat Kansas?
Yeah.
I promise, when John Kurtz texts me on March 11th, it's not because, hey, did you see how good Coleman Hawkins was this year? That text doesn't exist. He's going to text me because, like, really? You guys lost to Vanderbilt? LOL. That's the text I'm getting, and I know it's coming. Chiefs fans, you need to understand that this is the best place to be. Now, also understand that if, football happens and the Super Bowl is a loss, social media is not the place for you. Because when you're in this wave, if something bad happens to that villain, the people who have been anti that villain are going to celebrate like all get out because they think they've beaten you. They haven't beaten you. You're going to come back next year. But understand that if you are this polarizing, there are going to be people who hate you and want to cheer against you and celebrate like they've done something against you if something bad does happen.
That's why I really like what Julian Edelman had to say earlier. He was on the Rich Eisen show. Here's what Julian Edelman said.
When you're on top, everyone wants to try to bring you down. It's a bunch of baloney that the league is helping the Kansas City Chiefs. If you got a problem with it, go beat them. Okay, the refs aren't involved in when you throw interceptions, when you fumble the ball, when you jump off sides, when you don't convert third down or fourth down or third and fourth down for short 4 times. They can't control that. Like, if you want to beat them, go beat them. Don't talk about it. Be about it. I'm so sick and tired of hearing people say that about the Chiefs. Do business as business is being done with the referees. We all have scouting reports on each ref crew on how they like to throw the game. You learn about it during that first part of that game. If they're calling it tight, you tighten back. If they're not, you just hope that they're consistent throughout the whole thing, which they usually are. And yes, they miss calls and they do these things and there's bad calls here and there, but there's a handful of roughing the passers for guys that don't even have a resume that you looked at this year that got the call. If it's close, leave it alone. Yeah, they'll probably have to address that sideline awareness stuff, but these whole graphics about they get the call and they don't get the call. They don't give the call to them because they're coached better.
That was Julian Edelman earlier today on the Rich Eisen show. I think that Julian Edelman really sums things up perfectly, and I think he comes from a place that the Patriots used to be the exact same way. The way that you used to feel about the Patriots, that has now been transferred to the team that you cheer for. Just that simple. You remember how you used to feel about the New England Patriots? Felt like they got the benefit from the whistle. Their quarterback was the golden boy. You couldn't wait for it to be over. Teams now feel that way about your team. You're the it team now. I forgot who it was that said this, where it is the chased and the chaser or whatever it was some categorization like that. The Chiefs, when they were the team that was chasing, people love when you are the chasing. But when you are the team that's being chased, when you're the team on the mountaintop, man, there usually are a lot of other people along the way that you have wronged in this sense. You beat them along the way. How do you get to stay the king? You get to stay the king because you've been knocking everybody out. You've been the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world now for 5 straight years. When you've been that and you've been that dominant and that good, it comes with a lot of perks. Comes with a whole lot of perks of being the champion. It also comes with some negatives. Sometimes you got to deal with backlash and people think that you get favoritism. There should really only be one message. Continue to try and get better. And every team has the opportunity to prove it against the Kansas City Chiefs. Eventually, you know that you got to see them on the field. You're either going to see them in the AFC playoffs or eventually you'll get a chance to meet them on a neutral site in the Super Bowl. The Philadelphia Eagles are just the next chance, the next team that gets to take their swing to see if they can knock off the Kansas City Chiefs. Coming up in just a bit, if you miss Patrick Mahomes, we'll play the best of that conversation for you coming up in about 15 minutes. Keep it right here. It's The Drive on 96.5 The Fan.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your new home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Rally House.
Shop every team in town.
College
And Pro.
Come on, it's time to go.
We're New Orleans bound, KC. Shop the largest selection of Chiefs, AFC champions, and Super Bowl gear at Rally House. New postseason styles arriving daily.
Kansas, Missouri, Kansas State. Chiefs and Royals make KC great. Rally House.
Rally House.
It's your city, it's your house. It's the Rally House.
Limited quantity. Selection varies by location. Shop rallyhouse.com.
Attention car shoppers. Kevin Harlan here with Rob Seid of Rob Seid Ford in South Kansas City. Hey, Rob, what's going on?
We are making 2025 the best year in Rob Seid Ford history, and we are doing it with 4 simple steps.
Simple is what I love most about Rob Seid Ford. So, Rob, what's the plan?
It starts with Rob Seid Ford's non-commissioned sales staff, Kansas City's lowest prices on brand new Fords, the best trade-in values, the biggest selection we've ever had. With those 4 steps, it is my personal mission to make Rob Seid Ford the easiest, most value-driven Ford dealership in Kansas City. No BS.
That's why Rob Seid Ford is the only dealership I'll send my friends and family to. But you're forgetting one thing.
What's that?
Rob Seid Ford is Kansas City's top-rated Google Ford dealership.
Good call. Can't forget about that. Check out Rob Seid Ford in South Kansas City at 135th and State Line, ROBSIGHT.com.
Ad paid for by RFA cancellation. Attention timeshare owners. If you need to get rid of your timeshare for any reason, please listen to the following message. Getting out of a timeshare commitment is not easy, and it takes time. But we specialize in helping consumers legally get rid of their expensive timeshares forever. Can't get the vacation dates that work for you? Maybe you felt taken advantage of or forced into the timeshare? Maybe you just can't continue to shoulder those monthly payments any longer. If you need to eliminate your timeshare commitment, then you need to take down this number, 800-790-9617. We will safely and legally get rid of your timeshare payments forever, all with a 100% satisfaction guarantee. Don't continue to let your timeshare be a financial burden to you and your loved ones. Call us now at 800-790-9617. The call is free. The consultation is free. Call 800-790-9617. That's 800-790-9617. Again, 800-790-9617.
Someone had a birthday.
Yep, 50. Can't believe it.
50 years of wisdom.
Great segue. We have health news, a CDC update.
Pneumococcal vaccination is now recommended for adults 50 or older. Says here, we're over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50.
I don't love those odds.
Same. Look what I found. Pfizer's Prevnar 20 is proven to help protect adults against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease in just 1 dose, and millions have already gotten it.
Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you have a severe allergy to its ingredients. A weakened immune system may lower your response. Common side effects include injection site pain and swelling, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138. Visit Prevnar20.com or talk to your doctor or pharmacist.
I'm on Prevnar20.com now, scheduling my appointment.
Good idea. And happy 50th.
Buying and selling a home is stressful. You want the best team on your side, and that's my friend Dawn Sharp and the Sharp Homes team, brokered by Epic Realty. To find the current value of your home, go to homesforsaleandkc.com. Click on the button, How much is your home really worth? Then the Sharp Homes team can give you options. If you want to skip the showings and open houses, you can do that with their instant offer program. Contact the only agent I would trust if I needed to sell my home. It's Dawn Sharp. Google Sharp Homes team or visit them at homesforsaleandkc.com.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Traffic is brought to you by Metro Ford, online at kcmetroford.com. Emergency vehicles with the right lane closed of southbound 35 just past Armour Road. A stalled car in North Kansas City, southbound 29. It's at the on-ramp from 152 Highway westbound. Right now at Metro Ford, you won't find a better selection of F-150s in the city, plus $8,000 off 2024 Explorers and Escapes, all ready to drive off the lot today with a lifetime powertrain warranty. These deals won't last. Visit kcmetroford.com or stop by Metro Ford on Nolan Road in Independence. From the Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric Traffic Center, I'm Lori Pearson, 96.5 The Fan Traffic.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios.
Chiefs fans, it's George Karlaftis. Welcome to The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
Sometimes I regret when we do top it. Not because of anything that I've done wrong, but because of things that you guys have done wrong. So we were talking about this earlier in the show because Patrick Mahomes is going to be in a Doritos commercial. He's already in a Doritos commercial. And we were talking about Rotel. Now, I understand that Rotel is a brand and it is the can with the tomatoes, but what we call Rotel, maybe on this side of America, maybe you might call cheese dip. Some people said that they called it Velveeta dip. I don't know what that is. We just call it Rotel, where you get that block of Velveeta, you get the Rotel, you pour the can in there, the crock pot. Maybe you put a little bit of milk in there. Maybe you put a little, sour cream, however you do it, and then you put your meat of choice. Now, usually you might put a little ground beef in there. Maybe you put a little ground turkey because you like it a little bit leaner. We made some for the AFC Championship game, put a little rotisserie chicken in there. You got a Hy-Vee. They already got it cooked and shredded up. You just throw it in the crock pot and let it go. Rob is telling us that he likes to put a little chorizo in there, a little spicy sausage in there. No. Please don't bring that near me. Don't bring that into my home. I don't want any of that. The only reason I'm bringing this up, Rob, is, sometimes people are listening on the app, so we get texts later than the segment is, and that's perfectly fine. I don't have any issues with it. But now people are telling me their Rotel recipes. One person says he likes to put chili beans and ground elk in there. Bro, what's going on? This seems like a very simple, there's not that many ingredients. Milk. Velveeta, 2 cans of Rotel, ground beef, done. That's it. You don't need to put any sauce with it. Maybe I'm just old school because I've noticed this about myself. And we're going to play the Patrick Mahomes here coming up in a bit. We do have very serious sports things to get to. This is even more serious. Some of y'all do way too much with the ramen too. I don't need all that with the ramen.
Whoa. Are you telling me you just eat it boring and plain like the little packaging says? You don't add any seasonings or meats or anything of that nature?
All I need for the Rotel is a pot, water, and a bowl. I don't need anything else. Let me get that fork. I'm going to put a little bit of water in the pan, put it on the stove. I'm going to let it bubble. I'm putting the noodles in there. I'm stirring it up, flick of the wrist. I'm putting that chicken flavored packet in there. I'm tapping it, make sure I get all of the seasonings out, and now it's ready to serve. It's perfect the way that it is. You know what I've learned? I'm Frank Lucas. You're Nicky Barnes. You're adding a lot of stuff to Blue Magic. No, you don't need to add enough anymore to Blue Magic. It's fine just the way that it is.
For someone who claims their America likes all the seasonings and my America is bland, you're putting no soft-boiled eggs in your Rotel?
Oh, my goodness.
You're not adding green onion? You're not adding a little sesame oil? Maybe a little chili paste? You're not adding, I got some leftover grilled chicken in the fridge. Let's throw that in there. I got some vegetables. I got some radish and stuff I can put there. You're not zhuzhing up your ramen. Your Rotel is just what the back of the package says. That's plain and boring. For someone who gets told all the time, my America has no seasoning or taste, you're eating mayonnaise over there, my friend. Expand the palate.
That was funny. I got to give you that one. I got it. That was funny. That was good. You might have won this round. That was funny. I'll give you that. Text line 913-586-7965. What's your Rotel recipe? Because I'm learning as we're doing this. I'm just learning we got a different recipe when it comes to these things. We're doing it differently. Rob, I know that you and I are on different pages right now, but can we come together to laugh at one individual? There is a gentleman. His name is James Laverty. Now, he works for a news network and a popular television show. So maybe this is serious. Maybe it's a joke. I don't know. Who knows what's real anymore? Can I read to you what he tweeted? Because yesterday, remember, I read to you the tweet that someone sent that said, I speak for all America outside of Kansas City and apologizing to the Patriots and their fans. Your dynasty really wasn't all that insufferable compared to the Chiefs. Well, James Laverty decided to take this one step further. Listen to what he put. He put that the Chiefs dynasty is like a pop 40 hit that you've heard one too many times. The Patriots dynasty was pure Americana, the kind of story that felt plucked from a 1980 sports movie. It was a story about a washed-up franchise reborn with the 199th pick, led by a grumpy Coach Castoff from Cleveland, their slot receivers, a ragtag crew of seventh-rounders and lacrosse castaways. Gronk is the football equivalent to Bluto from Animal House. Why are we doing this with the New England Patriots? Did I miss something along the way? You're telling me the team that was out recording other people's practices, the team that was deflating footballs, yeah, you're telling one side of the Patriots story. Yeah, that's some of that's true. Tom Brady, greatest draft pick in NFL history. You did it with the Danny Amendolas and the Patriots were obviously a great story. We ain't gonna tell the full story about it, about how they hated each other at the end, about how the owner got caught. You know what? Never mind. We're not going to tell the story about how their all-pro tight end was out here catching touchdowns and catching bodies. Pure Americana. They might be. Yeah. No, you know what? Now that I think about it, the Patriots story might be pure Americana. It is certainly the good. It's a lot of good things about the Patriots story. It's a lot of shady underdealings, too. I cannot believe that we have lived long enough to see people romanticize the Patriots dynasty. That's what we've lived long enough to see. People are thinking fondly back to the Patriots as this upstart, plucky bunch of individuals that everybody loved. No, I will not let you guys do this with the New England Patriots. I was here. Rob, you were here. You remember this about New England. The internet has been very weird for the last 2 weeks. More weird than normal. I don't know what's happened. I don't know what has changed. But ever since that roughing the passer call against Patrick Mahomes, or maybe it was the slide, ever since then, the internet, I don't know what's been going on. I don't know what's been happening. I don't know if we watch the same games. I don't know if we remember the Patriots dynasty the same. The Patriots dynasty started with the controversial call. We had never heard of the tuck rule before, ever. Tom Brady is not passing to anybody. He is standing there in the pocket. They knock the ball out of his hand. He fumbles it. The Patriots dynasty should have never got going because of a controversial referee decision. Now we're sitting here telling the story like they were the team from Little Giants. Why are we doing this with the New England Patriots? Is this how people are going to treat the Chiefs in 10 years? I'm serious. Whenever the Chiefs' run is over, and eventually it ends, right? You guys know that. At some point, another team wins. That's how this thing works. There will be another Kansas City Chiefs team. There will be another New England Patriots. We know that. I don't know who it'll be, but we know that will happen. Are the same people now that think that the refs have it in the pocket for the Chiefs, are they going to go back and remember how much they loved Kansas City? Because that's not what's happening right now. I don't feel loved right now. Do you feel loved? Chiefs fans, do you guys feel loved right now? Do you feel like the rest of the NFL appreciates how great the Chiefs have been? It seems like only you guys appreciate how great the rest of the Chiefs have been, while everybody else has been complaining about how great you are.
The idea, maybe Tom Brady and the Patriots were that lovable bunch, the 199th pick stuff when they beat the Rams, but then he became like one of the most famous people on earth, and then he started dating one of the most attractive women on earth, and then his wife started telling, well, he can't throw and catch the football. Then they went 17-0. The love for the Patriots dynasty existed for 1 year. If that guy said, hey, I believe it was the 02 season, maybe the 01 season, that the Patriots were the most lovable team in the league, I think we all liked that story for 1 year. And then we all learned to hate it, and hate it fast. And then we started celebrating their failures. We liked when the Giants ruined their perfect season. We enjoyed that. Eli Manning is going to go to Canton because he did it twice. That is, the idea that there was this like plucky group is just revisionist history at the highest level.
Yeah, I I sat there for jokes after jokes after jokes. Man, when their owner got caught in that little massage parlor, why are we acting like we don't remember all these things? It wasn't that long ago. Are we getting old now, finally? Is that what happened? Was the Patriots dynasty so long ago that we forgot all the bumps in the road along the way in the story? Do we remember that? Do you remember that they wanted to trade Rob Gronkowski and he threatened to retire if they were going to trade him because they had a trade pending with the Detroit Lions? We're just not going to remember any of the things that happened along the way with the New England Patriots. We weren't there. Okay, all right. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I don't know. We don't remember all the times that we said that their dynasty was over when it wasn't over. We all forgot that. Okay, all right. Well, let's move on. We'll play the best of Patrick Mahomes coming up in a bit. Let me tell you that usually you don't get this kind of advance notice on some of these player props, but because it's the Super Bowl, we get them. The 5 most popular player props, Rob, right now on the BetMGM app are as follows. Number 5, Patrick Mahomes, over on 5.5 rush attempts. Saquon Barkley, over 23.5 longest carry. Saquon Barkley, over 113.5 rushing yards. Xavier Worthy, over 5.5 rushing yards. And the most popular player prop right now on BetMGM's app is over Dallas Goedert, 48.5 receiving yards, the tight end for the Philadelphia Eagles. The public thinks that he is going to have a very good day. I saw that they were kind of breaking down the numbers. There are 99%, so like out of the 100% of the votes, 99% of the money that they have received on Dallas Goedert is on the over right now, 48.5. People are very, very confident in Dallas Goedert, their tight end, having a very, very good day. It's kind of like what I felt last week with Dalton Kincaid and Dawson Knox. Just they actually have a good tight end in Dallas Goedert. I'm not saying to take the 48.5. I'm simply relying the message. Which of those bets do you like the most? The Xavier Worthy over 4.5 to me feels like a very, very good bet. He's going to get at least 2 carries in the game. Now, maybe Philadelphia stops those 2 carries, sure, but you can't hit your over if they don't give you usage. It is impossible to do that. I think Xavier Worthy gets a couple of opportunities, and you know that Andy's going to draw something up and a little end around, a pass that's behind the line of scrimmage Xavier Worthy over under 4.5 rushing yards, especially with how he's playing right now. I just don't know why you wouldn't try to give him the ball in a bunch of different scenarios. I really like his over if that's what it's at right now.
I mean, of that list, I like Patrick Mahomes' rushing attempts at the over. Like 4.5 rush attempts for Patrick Mahomes. He's going to run around and make plays. Think of the last Super Bowl against the Eagles. What's the iconic play? It's running around and making a big play for his team on a bum ankle. Think about the Bills game. They introduced more quarterback run. It feels like that's the obvious one. The Dallas Goedert one, I was with you last week with Dalton Kincaid.
So he was so bad.
So fool me once, and I'm not doing that with Dallas Goedert. I get what you're saying about Xavier Worthy, but some of those like jet sweep things, sometimes like a pop pass and it's not a rush, and suddenly your bet goes haywire because he has a big 39-yard catch that he caught behind the line of scrimmage. Like that one just seems risky to me. Mahomes running the ball 5 times. That feels like a safe one to me.
Yeah, it does feel like, I'm actually shocked that's the number. I feel like that should be closer to like 6.5.
That's a big January 29th number.
Yeah, it just feels like if it does feel like if you want to get in on Mahomes carries, you need to do that now. And I get it. A majority of people are going to wait till the last 48 hours, but anybody that gambles on these things know the earlier the better. You're going to get the better number, the better odds, and the line is going to start moving the more money comes in. And if you like Mahomes to take off and run a couple of times, getting him right now with over under 4.5 rush attempts is definitely the right play to be on. All right, earlier today, speaking of Patrick Mahomes, we got a chance to catch up with the quarterback of the Kansas City Chiefs. I want to play the best of that conversation. Our conversation with him started with what's the best part about being a player in the Super Bowl?
I think the best thing is just getting to where everybody can see everybody's personality on the team. I mean, obviously, the week of practice and building those memories with the guys, and then the media comes and they get to see everybody on the team, and what makes this team so special is the personalities that we have. And it's cool because I get to see that from a different perspective now that I've been there a couple of times.
I was going to mention that. You've been there a couple of times. What have you learned most about this Super Bowl week? Is it game preparation? Is it time management? You obviously have, another child. You now have 3 children now, family, responsibilities, obligations. What have you learned most about Super Bowl week and how to handle everything that comes with it?
I think just making sure that you know what to expect. I think that's the biggest thing. So it's not like anything catches you by surprise. I mean, you understand there's an uptick in media and there's different things you have to do during Super Bowl week. But you can get the game plan in, and you know what time you can do that and what time you can watch film. And we're such creatures of habit, being quarterbacks and being football players, that you want to get all your different stuff in. And I'm able to do that now because I have a plan just with the different experiences I've had in different Super Bowls.
Patrick, when you talk about that plan, how exactly do you communicate that with everyone else? Or is it something you got to let guys experience that journey for themselves? I'm sure a lot of people, quarterbacks, gave you advice as you headed into your first Super Bowl that you obviously took some of that advice, but you had to go through it for yourself as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit of both of that. I mean, I just make sure to stay on guys about getting their stuff done and making sure that they keep the main thing, and that's the football game that we're going to play, and then you can enjoy the other stuff as well. But I tell them you really can enjoy it if you win the game. So if you just want to focus in during the week and try to do whatever you can to give yourself the best chance, I think you can go out there and get the win, hopefully, and then enjoy it after.
Right now, we're talking to the quarterback of the Kansas City Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes, joining us on the show today. Patrick, there is a video of it, and obviously you remember this. You were part of the conversation where you're talking to Travis, you're talking to Chris Jones about a three-peat and how important that it is. What is it like to be so close to a goal that you guys set a year ago?
Yeah, I mean, this is part of it, man. I mean, your goal is to go out there and win the Super Bowl, and we were talking about that on the stage last year, but we knew it was going to be a long process. It was going to be hard, and we kind of went through it the entire season, but we haven't done it yet. I think that's the thing that we have to remember, is that you have to still put in the work and know that we're playing a great Philadelphia Eagles team, and it's going to take our best football in order to get a win, and we're going to go out there and prove it and do that if we want to kind of complete that goal.
Obviously, every run has been different for you guys. You know, you started this journey. You had Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill. You traded Tyreek Hill. You've gone through injuries and all of that thing. What about this journey has been unique compared to the other times that you guys have made it this far?
Yeah, I mean, obviously I don't want to say anything bad about any team or any player, but I think just how complete this football team is, and it really is everybody. I mean, everybody on the entire roster has made an impact on this team and made big plays and big moments this whole entire season, and I think that's what makes this team so special. Is it's not just one guy, it's not just offense, not just defense. It's everybody on the entire team is making their imprint on this game and this season, and I think it's special, and hopefully we can go out there and complete the job.
I got a couple of questions about the AFC Championship game. We don't have to get all the way into it, but I'm sure you have heard a lot of noise around you guys and how you win. Do you guys take that as a motivating factor heading into this? Is that something that has put a chip on you guys' shoulder?
I think more than anything, man, we just want to prove who the team we are and how we go about our business every single week. And we feel like we play the game the right way. We play extremely hard, and everybody goes out there and gives everything they have in order to win for team success. And I think if we continue to do that week in and week out and into the Super Bowl on a huge stage, people will appreciate us when they look back at their season and how we did it.
I am curious to get your thoughts on this about spot of the ball and how, if there is a better way to do it. Do you have an easy solution? People have said lasers. People have said put a chip in the football. You've been in these short yardage situations. Do you think there is a solution to make sure that we get the right call, so to speak?
The NFL will keep working and trying to find better ways to do it, but at the end of the day, you have to go out there and make it clear and obvious that you get the first down or you get the touchdown, and you want to do that, and then you don't have to worry about replay or anything like that. I mean, it's just kind of part of the game. It's just like calling balls and strikes in baseball. I mean, at some point you just got to play the game and let the kind of football gods handle the rest. And if you go out there and play with the right mentality and leave it all out on the football field, you kind of live with the results. That's how I've always truly felt.
You've been to this multiple times, but there are some key teammates of yours that haven't been to this point. What is it like to help a guy like Kareem Hunt get to his first Super Bowl, Xavier Worthy in his first season, DeAndre Hopkins, who has had a lot of success in this league, never made it past the second round of the postseason. Now he's going to the Super Bowl. How rewarding is it to help those guys also get to this point so they get to experience Super Bowl week?
Yeah, it's super rewarding. I mean, especially for the veteran guys that haven't been there before, because it's a goal for everybody. And these guys are coming in, putting work in every single day to get to that game. And you want to go out there and have a great week and then obviously try to get the win and build those memories. I mean, a bunch of my best memories are from Super Bowl week and just hanging out with the guys in the hotel room before the game. I mean, the game's awesome. Obviously, you always remember that, but I think those memories that you build up and the camaraderie of just being around each other for a full week and all your hard work paying off, I think that's stuff that you'll have for the rest of your life.
I'm big into movies, and just to see Kareem Hunt's sort of redemption arc has been really rewarding to see. You talk about the work that he has put in. There was a video after the AFC Championship game where he's walking around on the field, and there's the confetti, and you understand how much this means to him. How important was it for you to help him get to this point where I feel like he's going to be a star for the Super Bowl?
Yeah, I mean, it was extremely important. And you know the stuff that he had went through and how he's kind of matured and became a better person because of it, and just learned from his mistakes. And then to be able to come back and be in Kansas City, I mean, that's one of the first people I met when I was in Kansas City, and someone that was at my wedding, and that I have a lot of love for, and I know that he's dealt with his adversity and came back, learned from his mistakes, became a better person, and became a huge part of our football team. And I know all the guys are proud of him as well, and the way he carries himself every single day in the building and puts in the work. And that's why you're appreciative of the moments that you have, because you never know when these are going to be the last ones that you get.
How cool is it that Tom Brady is going to be on the call for this Super Bowl, and you got a chance to do something that even Tom hasn't done in his career, and he's done just about everything you can do as a football player?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's cool just because how great of a football player that he was, and I mean, obviously the relationship that I built with him is kind of a friendship now, and someone that I can talk to and listen to the advice from, and know that he's done it all the right way. And so for him to be able to call the game, hopefully we can find a way to get a win, and have that as someone is the GOAT, as the person that's calling the football game and getting his perspective on it when I go back and watch it with my kids one day.
That was our conversation with the quarterback of the Kansas City Chiefs. That was the best of it. We'll play it in its entirety. Say that 10 times fast. We will play the entire thing. How about that? We'll play that coming up in about 30 minutes or so. Coming up, you know what? It's been a while since I could stand up on my soapbox and I could get to be the back in my day. But I think I have a gripe about the way that we handle something that I think most of you will agree. It was much better when we were kids. I'll explain what it is. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your new home for K-State Athletics, 96.5. The Fan, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
The FanDuel Kick of Destiny is back, and this time it's every Manning for himself. This Super Bowl will have two legends take the field in a sudden death field goal showdown. The brothers, Peyton and Eli, live from New Orleans. One kick to claim ultimate family bragging rights. Who will rise to the moment? Pick your winner now in the FanDuel app, and if you back the right brother, you'll earn a share of $10 million in bonus bets. It's FanDuel Kick of Destiny 3. Make your free pick, and don't forget to tune in to watch the showdown live during Super Bowl 59 pregame show on Fox at 2 p.m. Central. May the best Manning win. Download the app or head to FanDuel.com/KFNZ and bet with FanDuel, an official partner of Super Bowl 59 and also 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Kansas. 21 and present in Kansas. No purchase necessary. Bonus issue with non-withdrawable bonus bets. It expires 7 days after restrictions apply. Void where prohibited. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under agreement with Kansas Star Casino, LLC. Gambling problem? Can help with your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700. Visit ksgamblinghelp.com.
Milo's Rewards Week is coming, and it's kind of a big deal. Members, get ready for 7 days of up to 40% off store-wide on hundreds of items. Save on the top brands in bath, tools, paint, and more. Our biggest member deals are on January 30th through February 5th. So if you're not a loyalty member, now's the time to join for free. Lowe's knows home improvement. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Details at lowes.com/terms. Subject to change.
Whether you're ordering wings for the game, whipping up a 7-layer dip, or ordering pizza, there's something about football that makes you want to eat. And this football season, Uber Eats has the best deals on game day food. No matter what you're craving, from 2-for-1 pizza to buy one, get one wings, Uber Eats will be dropping new deals each week, all season long. Uber Eats, official on-demand delivery partner of the NFL. Order now. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details.
Men, it's the new year, and for many of us, it's a time of deciding to make positive changes in our lives. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if you're suffering with erectile dysfunction and are tired of the frustration and embarrassment ED causes, you should call Heartland Men's Health today, because there probably isn't a better resolution you can make than to be done with ED. You see, ED doesn't just affect you, it can also affect your partner, even if they don't talk about it. But here's some great news. If you're like most guys, the treatments at Heartland Men's Health will give you back your sex life, because our protocols have success rates that work in well over 90% of cases. Seriously, you might even find you're performing like you haven't in years. So, make an appointment and get ED out of your life. Your initial visit is only $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. That's heartlandmenshealth.com. Heartland Men's Health, a Promenic restorative health practice.
In a world that moves a million miles a second, Haagen-Dazs invites you to slow down and savor every delicious bite. Take it one almond at a time with the Haagen-Dazs Vanilla Milk Chocolate Almond Bar. Madagascar vanilla, rich milk chocolate, and toasted California almonds make this unmatched icon legendary. Whatever Dazs you savor, a snack bar or your favorite flavor, say goodbye to the fast life and hello to savoring the finest ingredients and the richest and creamiest ice cream. That's Dazs, available at retailers nationwide.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks vapors in an easy-to-apply stick, and it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks VapoStick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And when you need more comfort for yourself, try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks vapors.
Use as directed. VapoStick for use ages 4 and up. Vapo Shower Max use for adults only.
Big game coverage on 96.5 The Fan is brought to you by Community America Credit Union. Member owned, open to all, invested in you. Join today at communityamerica.com. Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Score the official Super Bowl game program now at superbowlprogram.us. Looking at heavy traffic behind some emergency vehicles, southbound lanes of 35 in North Kansas City. This is just past Armour Road. Got that right lane closed. Heavy into downtown via northbound 35. Also looking at delays westbound and eastbound 435 from 69 Highway through Knoll Avenue. The Chiefs are going for the three-peat, and here's your chance to own a piece of history with the official Super Bowl game program. Delivered to your home, it's perfect for your Super Bowl party and a must-have for collectors. Order yours now at superbowlprogram.us. superbowlprogram.us. From the Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric Traffic Center, I'm Lori Pearson, 96.5 The Fan Traffic.
Chiefs fans, it's Trent McDuffie. Welcome to The Drive with C-Dot on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
All right. Maybe this is me being a little bit too old school and back in my day. But I remember when Super Bowl commercials used to be a really big deal. A lot of people maybe didn't care about the result of the game, and you would watch the Super Bowl to see the new It commercials. And boy, we saw some great ad campaigns when we were coming up. Or you usually would get to see a first look at some of the summer blockbusters. Super Bowl commercials were a really big deal. I was just reading an article earlier today that Fox has already received 10 separate commercials where the brand spent $8 million to be advertised during the Super Bowl. So it's obviously still big business to be one of the commercials during the Super Bowl. When did they start to show us the commercials before the game? Have you seen this new Doritos commercial? That is actually a pretty funny commercial. I would have loved this commercial had we seen it during the game. You're going to show it to us now? No, why are we doing this? I like when we see all the commercials at the same time. I like when we don't know what happens. You still can have these moments when it comes to commercials. You guys remember a couple of years ago when Roku had that commercial where it looked like the home screen and it was turning the channel, and then everybody's like, what's going on? We still have special moments when it comes to Super Bowl commercials. Let's keep more of them. Now, maybe this is a way, if you're Doritos, that you can kind of get a little free ad spacing. Well, this is the one we were going to put in the Super Bowl, and now you can upload it onto the internet for free, and it goes viral, and people share it, and you don't have to spend the $8 million or whatever it's going to cost to advertise it. But I don't want Super Bowl commercials early. I don't want them circulating on Yahoo. I don't want them on TikTok. I don't want them on YouTube. I want all the Super Bowl commercials to get this happen during the Super Bowl. The moment the pregame is up, it's game time. The moment that Howie and Terry and Michael Strahan, when they're done, it's time for you to lock in. You got to get that seat on the couch. You got to have your food. You got to have your beverage. And I'm not getting up unless it's time to get more food or go to the bathroom. But I'm locked in. I'm watching all of it. I'm watching the game. I'm watching the commercials. I'm watching the halftime. I'm watching the post-game celebrations. I'm looking to see what color the Gatorade is. That's part of the experience. Uploading the commercials before the game is not part of the experience. I hate the fact that I saw this Doritos commercial earlier today. If you haven't seen it, it's actually a very funny, very good commercial. This would have been one of the commercials that you would have said might have been one of your favorite commercials. But part of the reason why we feel like Super Bowl commercials have lost some of their allure of how they used to be is they started uploading them onto the internet days before the event.
So I really want to be on the same side with you here. I really do. I agree with you. I saw one today on Instagram. It was Hellman's Mayo. They have one for the Super Bowl. It made me chuckle. I would probably have enjoyed it more live and in real time and not on my phone. But yeah, I agree with you. But here's the thing. Now that the Chiefs are in the Super Bowl, you know what I'm not checking for? The commercials. The commercials are now bathroom break time. Refill my chips and dip plate. Get a few more wings. When it's Rams Bengals, when it's Patriots Rams, if I miss when they go to, hey, let's go to the fifth replay of this close play, that's a good time for me to get food. But I don't want to miss the commercials. But now the Chiefs are involved, now that it's my team, and now it's my city, and I'm locked into the football, the commercials have kind of fallen to the wayside. They're not as interesting to me. So I like that it's possible I'm in the bathroom and I missed the Doritos commercial, the Hellman's Mayo commercial, and I don't see it happen in real time. And I've already seen it. I'm good. I didn't miss anything. I think the Chiefs being in the game changes the calculus.
Yeah, and I guess, though, if you miss it the first time, my answer would just be is they're going to show it again a bunch. It's not like the only time you're going to see the trailer for Creed 5 is going to be during the game. They're going to show it again. Rob, whatever Marvel movie that they're going to debut, X-Men or I don't know what's coming out.
I would hope it's Fantastic Four.
Whatever it is, I don't know. We will see some Marvel movie for the first time next Sunday. Don't worry, if you miss it, they'll show it again. But don't show me the commercial early. Show it to me on the Super Bowl. That's when I want to see Denzel in Black Panther 3. Save all your news and information for that moment. That's it. That's all I want. I don't think I'm asking a lot. Doritos, I know you got it. I know you got it. You've been selling the same chips for 75 years. I know you got it. We were asking this question earlier, 913-586-7965. What's the superior Doritos? Is it the red bag or the blue bag? This seems very obvious. It's the blue bag. Cooler Ranch is the better of the two. That's not to say Nacho Ranch is not great. Nacho Ranch is fantastic. And there are some scenarios where the Nacho Ranch, I think, goes a little bit harder. If you're making a little taco salad, I think the Nacho Ranch is a better one to make. There are times where you need to pull that red bag out. I get it. But if we're at a cookout, let's say, not a barbecue, but we're at a cookout. We're making dogs and brats, and we're doing that.
More lunch energy.
Yeah. And you get that assorted bag. You know the bag I'm talking about that has 40 bags of chips in there. It's got the little sun chips. It's got the regular Lay's, the barbecue Lay's, and it's got the Doritos in there. The little chip fun pack. Oh, yeah. Hand me that blue bag. I don't want the red bag in that scenario. I don't want it. Hand me that blue bag. Thank you. You can just do more with the blue bag. It's better. Blue bag Doritos are the best ones.
I'm about to ask you something that I know the answer to, but that's kind of the nature of the beast. When we talk food on this show, so it goes. Have you ever taken the red bag, the nacho cheese Doritos, and put them on your sandwich for a little crunch factor? It's a game changer. My wife put me onto this. Have your turkey sandwich. You got your turkey, your mustard, your mayo, your lettuce, tomato, whatever you got on there. Throw a few Doritos nacho cheese chips on there. That is a fantastic flavor profile. Cool Ranch doesn't hit like that. So if you're putting chips on your sandwich, it's got to be nacho cheese.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's fair. I'm blue bag over here. That's what I'm saying. Someone said, can you explain the difference between a cookout and a barbecue? I would consider a cookout to be if you were just making hot dogs and hamburgers. I would consider a barbecue is when you expand and you start to make more things. Like if you put ribs and brisket and those kind of things, that's what I would consider to be a barbecue.
I always thought it was based on size. A cookout's like, you're having like a few people over. A barbecue's like you got people coming to the house.
Yeah, and if you got, I don't care how many people you got. If you got 30 people coming over and all we got is hot dogs and hamburgers, you're having a cookout. In my opinion, that's how I would define it. A barbecue is when you throw that brisket on the grill. When you throwing ribs and shrimp, where we getting exotic with it. That's what I would consider a barbecue. Maybe you guys think something different. 913-586-7965. That's how I would define the difference in those two things. What's being served at the function. Coming up at the top of the hour, if you missed Patrick Mahomes, we'll play that conversation in its entirety coming up in about 15 minutes or so. And I noticed something about the Chiefs. This thing could have went one way, but it went the exact opposite way. I'll tell you what it is. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison.
This man was a bona fide scrub.
On 96.5 The Fan, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this. Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Traffic brought to you by Connolly Plumbing Solutions, your neighborhood plumber. Call 913-768-7676 or ConnollyPlumbingSolutions.com. Emergency vehicle still closing that right lane, southbound 35 just past Armour Road in North Kansas City. Looking at traffic back up behind it. Also seeing a two-car crash eastbound 435 just past Knoll on the left shoulder, but still, again, some slowdowns as you come up on that collision. Connolly Plumbing Solutions, your neighborhood plumber, this month offering $200 off tank water heater replacement or $400 off tankless. Call Connolly 913-768-7676 or ConnollyPlumbingSolutions.com. From the Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric Traffic Center, I'm Lori Pearson, 96.5 The Fan Traffic.
Okay, so that's with bacon, cheese, lettuce, tomato, grilled onions, ketchup, and hold the pickles.
You know what you like. You wouldn't order your burger just any way. Why should your sports talk be any different? With Chapters on the free Odyssey app, you can choose the topics that matter to you most. Whether it's reactions, matchup previews, injury updates, or team news, quickly find what you really care about. Your football talk, your way. Download the free Odyssey app and start listening today.
Are you ready to take your business to the next level? Meet Viant AI, the world's first fully autonomous advertising platform. With Viant AI, you can automate media planning, analyze results, and drive smarter decisions, all while saving you time and resources. Viant AI helps you unlock new potential and boost productivity regardless of your expertise. Visit Viant.ai today and see how the future of artificial intelligence in advertising can work for you.
Right now at Wendy's, get 2 of these fave items for just $7. The spicier classic chicken sandwich, Dave's single, or 10-piece nugs. It's an incredible deal, but an insanely difficult choice. Do you go double chicky sando, both spicy and classic, 1 beefy and 1 chicky? Or maybe you go all in on one and go Nug Max. 2 faves for just $7? Gotta be Wendy's.
At participating Wendy's for a limited time only. Select a request 2 for $7 deal to redeem. Not valid in a combo or with saucy nugs. Single item at regular price. Prices may be higher in Alaska and Hawaii.
When you have an expert financial partner invested in you, you can't help but feel like a star. Like the new graduate opening their first investment account, the small business owner proudly adding a new location, or the young couple buying their first home. At Community America, we're invested in helping members achieve financial peace of mind with products and services tailored to each stage of life. Member owned, open to all. Community America Credit Union. Invested in you.
Just hearing the word IRS can make people break out in a cold sweat. No one wants to deal with the IRS, and now you don't have to. The good news is Legal Tax Defense has been successfully negotiating with the IRS for more than 15 years. It doesn't matter how much you owe, whether it's $5,000 or $5 million. You deserve the best in the business on your side, and that is Legal Tax Defense. Even if you're working with someone else and just want a second opinion, there is no cost or obligation to call. They can prevent levies, liens, wage garnishments, even file back tax returns. And the best news about Legal Tax Defense is they won't take your case unless they know they will reduce or eliminate your tax debt. Call Legal Tax Defense right now for a free no-risk consultation. 800-469-1635. 800-469-1635. You have nothing to lose but everything to gain. 800-469-1635.
Right now at Wendy's, get 2 of these fave items for just $7. The spicier classic chicken sandwich, Dave's single, or 10-piece nugs. It's an incredible deal, but an insanely difficult choice. Do you go double chicky sando, both spicy and classic, 1 beefy and 1 chicky? Or maybe you go all in on one and go Nug Max. 2 faves for just $7? Gotta be Wendy's.
At participating Wendy's for a limited time only. Select a request 2 for $7 deal to redeem. Not valid in a combo or with saucy nugs. Single item at regular price. Prices may be higher in Alaska and Hawaii.
Lowe's knows how to help you save time and money, no matter the job. That's why we can deliver supplies to your job site as soon as same day, so you have more time to get the job done. Because when you need it fast, we've got you covered. Lowe's knows pros. Valid on eligible in-stock orders and select zip codes placed by 2 p.m. for same-day delivery by 8 p.m. Subject to driver availability. Fees vary based on purchase. More terms apply. See Lowe's.com/same-day delivery for details.
Fesco and Dusty live from New Orleans all next week for Super Bowl 59, right here on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan, KFNZ FM and AM, HD1 and HD2, Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
Congratulations on getting through your 9 to 5. Thank you so much for listening. It is The Drive. My name is Carrington Harrison. Excited to be here with you. Rob Brenton is here as well. Rob told us earlier today what his cheese dip recipe is. I've learned so much about my dear friend over the first 3 hours of the show today. Rob, for people who missed it earlier today, let's say that you are hosting the Super Bowl function this year. You and your wife just got married. This is your first big event as a married couple. You want to invite people over. They're in your home. That means you got to cook the rotel. You got to cook the cheese dip. What are you putting in your rotel recipe? We have been asking people all day, 913-586-7965. You guys know that I have a rule on this show. I don't block people. You have to be racist, homophobic, or spam the text line in order for me to block you. And usually, at least with the third one, I will give you a warning. Bro, you sent the same text 9 times. You can stop it. I got it. I read what you had to say. I don't really give you warnings on the first 2. At this point, you should just know those are the rules if you want to use the text line. Outside of that, I'm good. I usually don't have to block people for a lot. One time I did block somebody temporarily for saying that Coming to America was overrated because that is a ridiculous opinion about maybe the funniest movie ever made. And I almost considered blocking somebody earlier when they said they like to put chili beans and ground elk into their cheese dip. What is happening? Rob, what is your official Rob Brenton cheese dip recipe?
I'm not gonna lie. I don't venture too much off the straight and narrow here. I go your Rotel block, your Velveeta block of cheese, the can of Rotel. I do like to get not the mild one, the medium one, a little bit more heat in my Rotel can.
I like the mild.
And then I get a spicy Italian sausage. I cook off that Italian sausage, do my best I can to drain the grease, put it all into like a crock pot, let it stew and cook together, and then I offer a different variety of chips. So, hey, maybe you like Tostitos, maybe you like a Doritos. That's your choice. And then I have lettuce, sour cream, pico de gallo, guacamole, jalapenos out if you want to, as a guest at my home, zhuzh it up a little more. But the basics are Rotel, spicy Italian sausage, Velveeta.
Someone on the text line says, C-Dot, you forgot one thing. You said you blocked people earlier this season for calling you Chargers, Dot. Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Oh, that's still in play. From now until the Super Bowl, if you call me Chargers, I'm not in control if all of a sudden you lose the privilege of texting this show. I've told you guys I don't want to be called that. Call me a lot of things. Call me an idiot. Call me a loser. Call me a nincompoop. Call me a lot of things. Please do not associate me with that team. I don't want to be associated with Justin Herbert at least until after the NFL draft. At least until then. I'll pick the Chargers back up. But right now, it is an abusive relationship. And sometimes you got to set limits. You got to set boundaries. And I don't want to do that. I don't want you to call me Chargers anymore. Thank you, Texter. I wish we had pizzas to give you, because I would give you a free pizza right now for reminding me to remind you guys to not call me Chargers. It is offensive and it hurts people. That's what it is. Calling me Chargers hurts me. It pains me when I see that on the text line. I'm here minding my own business, trying to work, and then I got to look up and see Chargers out of nowhere. I don't do that at your job. Please do not call me that anymore. I do not want to be associated with Jim Harbaugh. He's a loser. Someone said clown. That's fine. I don't got no issues with that. I'm clown. That's fine. That's cool. That's all right. That's fine. Yeah, fine. Nope, no issues. Clown. I don't mind being clown for you. I really don't. All right, coming up in a bit, we will play our conversation with Patrick Mahomes. I did get a chance to talk to him earlier today. We'll play that in its entirety coming up in about 10 minutes or so. So I don't know if this is a story as much, but when I was a kid, I used to really like these choose your own adventure books. And maybe you guys remember what it was. It would always be like some kind of mystery or some sci-fi thing. And I just loved the option that I could determine the end of the book. You would read it, and then you would get to a fork in the road. With your character, you had to make a decision about what you wanted to do. You could choose A and go down this tunnel, or you could choose B and go down the other tunnel, and you never knew what could happen. Maybe everything worked out for your character, and you got to live happily ever after. Maybe you got eaten by a dragon at the end of the story. I like the uncertainty of it. The Chiefs have had a couple of these scenarios over the last 5-6 years or so. And what I've noticed with Kansas City is almost every time that they've come to that fork in the road, they've made the right decision. There were times where this thing absolutely could have fallen off the tracks. Let's go through some of them. There was a point when everybody realized that the Chiefs had their quarterback. It was not debatable. Maybe it took certain people different times of knowing it, but there was a point where it became clear to everybody, hey, Pat's special. He won MVP his first year as a starter. He was doing things that it took Peyton Manning until his late 30s to do. He looked like the best quarterback in the NFL from basically the moment that we saw him. It was clear that the Chiefs had the answer. But man, their team was flawed. Their defense couldn't get off the field. And you needed to have not just a great offense, you needed an historic offense to be able to carry the defense that the Chiefs had in Patrick's first year as a starter. And the Chiefs lost that year in the AFC Championship game, but there certainly was a sense of optimism and hope that the Chiefs would be back in that game as long as they chose the right side. You had to make a tough decision. You had to get rid of some guys, and you had to significantly improve the roster, because what would not be acceptable again is, well, the offense is ready, but your defense is the reason that you have denied Patrick Mahomes from this greatness. That's the same place that Buffalo is in. Buffalo's defense has given up 25 touchdowns in their last 40 drives defensively. Buffalo's defense is not championship worthy. You're not beating Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, and all of these great quarterbacks in back-to-back-to-back weeks with the defense that Buffalo has. That's why they continue to be at home. So Kansas City had this decision. You could have made the wrong hire at defensive coordinator. That happens all the time in the National Football League. You have one you don't like. You now have an opening for that job. Who are you going to get to come fill this vacancy? They hired Steve Spagnuolo to come do it. A guy who obviously had championship success, who done it with the New York Giants, and now was coming back to coach with his friend, coach with Andy Reid, to get to be the head coach of half of the side of the football. He has completely transformed this defense. Last year, I think the Chiefs had the best defense in the league. Their defense has been phenomenal since Spags has taken over. There was a fork in the road. The Chiefs made the right decision. They hired the right defensive coordinator. They went out and got Tyrann Mathieu to change the culture in the locker room. They went out and they got Frank Clark, who maybe didn't live up to the regular season expectations, but for 3 years, every time you needed a big defensive play, Frank Clark was usually the one that was at the center of making that big-time play. The Chiefs had a fork in the road where they needed to do something right, and they made the right choice. That was not the only time that this story was that way. Now, I know that Chiefs fans like to act like this game didn't happen, and I don't blame you. There was a Super Bowl that you were really excited about. You were going up against Tampa Bay, a team that you would beat in the regular season. I still believe that's the best Chiefs team that we've seen during this entire run. They went 15-1. They ran through the AFC playoffs. They went into the Super Bowl. They got handled by Tampa Bay. Their offensive line wasn't good enough. Injuries, whatever it was, their offensive line wasn't good enough. That offseason, the Chiefs had a goal. We can never let this happen again. It was the same fork in the road that they had for the defense a couple of years prior. They went out and they got Joe Thuney. Joe Thuney, who has been the best offensive lineman on their team since that signing, a guy who has now helped them at multiple positions, a player who has transformed himself into what we believe to be a future Hall of Fame offensive lineman. They got him in free agency. Everybody could have got Joe Thuney. One team wanted him more than everybody else. They then could have just rested on that. Well, we got Joe Thuney. No. They went out and they got Creed Humphrey in that same offseason. They went out and they got Trey Smith. Creed Humphrey has never lost a playoff game before. Creed Humphrey never... Guys have been winning at very, very high levels since joining the Kansas City Chiefs. That was another fork in the road where things could have went one way, but it didn't for Kansas City. They traded one of the most dynamic players in league history. I didn't think the Chiefs were going to rebound after trading Tyreek, I'll admit. When you lose a player that dynamic and you drastically change your offense the way that they did, I thought that it was going to take the Chiefs a little bit to retool. They went out, they signed Juju Smith-Schuster, they signed MVS that year. Juju led them in receiving from wide receivers. MVS made a big catch in the AFC Championship game. Their quarterback won MVP the next year. They proved everybody wrong. And not just that, they turned Tyreek Hill into Trent McDuffie, one of the best young defensive players in the National Football League. They also turned that pick into Nick Bolton. All of that. We've seen teams trade players like Tyreek Hill before. A lot of those teams mess it up. A lot of those teams don't do anything with the draft picks. You swing and miss on a couple of those draft picks, and you end up getting nothing in exchange for Tyreek Hill. No, you got something. You got Trent McDuffie, and you got Nick Bolton because you traded Tyreek Hill. Two players who have been very instrumental in helping you win Super Bowls and helping you be a dominant team. Earlier this year, the Chiefs did not have a left tackle. They didn't. They thought they did. They loved Kingsley Suamataia, really until they didn't. That was 6 quarters into the season. Oh, yeah, he can't play. They then sat him down. We haven't really seen Kingsley a whole lot since then. They gave another player a chance at left tackle. Didn't really work that much. They then signed somebody to play left tackle. He got hurt instantly. It was looking bad at that position. One of the decisions that they made previously was then a solution to the current problem that they had. The reason the Chiefs are the way that they are is they always have a solution. Every time there has been a significant problem with the Chiefs in the last 5 years, they put their head down and they figure it out. They're not 100%. They've needed a wide receiver and drafted Sky Moore. They've needed this thing and missed on this thing. That happens before. This is the same team that signed Anthony Hitchens, the same team that drafted Sky Moore. They are not perfect in any way. But life doesn't require you to be perfect all the time. Life usually requires you to manage crisis and handle bad situations. Hey, this thing messed up. How am I going to respond to this thing that's messed up? Their offensive line was messed up. They fixed it. Their defense was messed up. They fixed it. They didn't have a left tackle. They fixed it. Their number one running back got hurt earlier in the season. They went out and they signed somebody who did not make a training camp. I don't think we've really talked about how sort of improbable it is what Kareem Hunt has been. He wasn't on a team. It wasn't like he went through training camp, played in preseason, got hurt, and then got cut. No, he didn't get invited to anybody's training camp. Even when injuries happen, teams are like, no, we're okay. That player then led the AFC defending champion in yards from scrimmage this year. Every time there has been a problem for the Chiefs over the lifespan of this dynasty, they have been able to figure it out. And I think that's interesting because in contrast to all of these other teams that have constantly been complaining about this thing and this thing and this thing is, that's the difference between you and the Chiefs. The difference is you have a problem and you let that problem define you and be the reason why you lose. The Chiefs have similar problems. They just overcome it and figure out how to win. We've seen this team get screwed by bad calls before. We've seen the Chiefs have an injury that happens that could have derailed their season. We've seen the Chiefs go on the road. They just figure it out. None of that stuff matters. Hey, in this game, Travis Kelce's going to have 19 yards. It's okay. The player that we drafted, we're going to turn him into the best receiver in this game. We lost our number one running back. He's not going to be super efficient. All right, we've got this other guy, Kareem Hunt. He's just as capable. Hey, Juju Smith-Schuster, who hadn't had more than 20 yards in 2 months, he's going to have 70 yards in the AFC Championship game. The Chiefs always have a solution to their problem, and that's how they once again find themselves in the Super Bowl. And the reason that all of these other teams are mad and frustrated and blaming the officials and trying to find all of these alternate theories on why they keep losing to the Chiefs, it's because the Chiefs handle adversity and setbacks far better than you handle it. And that is how the Chiefs are the Chiefs, and that is why you will once again be watching the Chiefs on television during the Super Bowl. Hit me, Rob.
He's the best quarterback in the NFL. He's taken your Chiefs to the mountaintop 3 different times.
Mahomes moving to his left laterally, chased, holding it, and gets out of bounds and up the sideline. He's not out of bounds yet. He's at the 10, inside the 10, he dives for the end zone. Touchdown, Kansas City.
And he sits down with one show across the entire country for an exclusive one-on-one interview. Your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan. Here's Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes on The Drive.
So earlier today, we got a chance to catch up with Patrick Mahomes. Our conversation starts with congratulations. You guys are going to the Super Bowl once again.
Yeah, I appreciate you, man. It's always awesome. I'm glad that we're back in it.
Absolutely, man. Let's just start with this. You obviously have dreams as a kid, and it's to play in these kind of games. What is it like to be living out your dreams where you haven't just gone to one Super Bowl and won one? You have won 3, and you have a chance to do something that no quarterback in the history of the Super Bowl era has ever accomplished.
Yeah, I mean, it's very surreal. I mean, obviously, this is what your goal is at the end of every season, to get to this game and to win it. But you know how hard it is, and I think the more times you go, you understand how hard the process is even more. And to be able to have a team that is this locked in and able to go out there and treat every week like it's supposed to be treated so they can get yourself into these moments, it's a surreal feeling, and I'm truly appreciative of it.
You've obviously done this before. What is the best thing about Super Bowl week?
I think the best thing is just getting to where everybody can see everybody's personality on the team. I mean, obviously, the week of practice and building those memories with the guys, and then the media comes and they get to see everybody on the team. And what makes this team so special is the personalities that we have. And it's cool because I get to see that from a different perspective now that I've been there a couple of times.
I was going to mention that. You've been there a couple of times. What have you learned most about this Super Bowl week? Is it game preparation? Is it time management? You obviously have another child. You have 3 children now, family, responsibilities, obligations. What have you learned most about Super Bowl week and how to handle everything that comes with it?
I think just making sure that you know what to expect. I think that's the biggest thing. So it's not like anything catches you by surprise. I mean, you understand there's an uptick in media and there's different things you have to do during Super Bowl week. But you can get the game plan in and you know what time you can do that and what time you can watch film. And we're such creatures of habit, being quarterbacks and being football players, that you want to get all your different stuff in. And I'm able to do that now because I have a plan just with the different experiences I've had in different Super Bowls.
Patrick, when you talk about that plan, how exactly do you communicate that with everyone else? Or is it something you got to let guys experience that journey for themselves? I'm sure a lot of people, quarterbacks, gave you advice as you headed into your first Super Bowl that you obviously took some of that advice, but you had to go through it for yourself as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit of both of that. I mean, I just make sure to stay on guys about getting their stuff done and making sure that they keep the main thing, and that's the football game that we're going to play, and then you can enjoy the other stuff as well. But I tell them you really can enjoy it if you win the game. So if you just want to focus in during the week and try to do whatever you can to give yourself the best chance, I think you can go out there and get the win, hopefully, and then enjoy it after.
Right now, we're talking to the quarterback of the Kansas City Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes, joining us on the show today. Patrick, there is a video of it, and obviously you remember this. You were part of the conversation where you're talking to Travis, you're talking to Chris Jones about a three-peat and how important that it is. What is it like to be so close to a goal that you guys set a year ago?
Yeah, I mean, this is part of it, man. I mean, your goal is to go out there and win the Super Bowl, and we were talking about that on the stage last year, but we knew it was going to be a long process. It was going to be hard, and we kind of went through it the entire season, but we haven't done it yet. I think that's the thing that we have to remember is that you have to still put in the work and know that we're playing a great Philadelphia Eagles team, and it's going to take our best football in order to get a win, and we're going to go out there and prove it and do that if we want to kind of complete that goal.
Obviously, every run has been different for you guys. You know, you started this journey. You had Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill. You traded Tyreek Hill. You've gone through injuries and all of that thing. What about this journey has been unique compared to the other times that you guys have made it this far?
Yeah, I mean, obviously I don't want to say anything bad about any team or any player, but I think just how complete this football team is, and it really is everybody. I mean, everybody on the entire roster has made an impact on this team and made big plays and big moments this whole entire season, and I think that's what makes this team so special is it's not just one guy, it's not just offense, not just defense, it's everybody on the entire team is making their imprint on this game and this season, and I think it's special, and hopefully we can go out there and complete the job.
I got a couple of questions about the AFC Championship game. We don't have to get all the way into it, but I'm sure you have heard a lot of noise around you guys and how you win. Do you guys take that as a motivating factor heading into this? Is that something that has put a chip on you guys' shoulder?
I think more than anything, man, we just want to prove who the team we are and how we go about our business every single week. And we feel like we play the game the right way. We play extremely hard, and everybody goes out there and gives everything they have in order to win for team success. And I think if we continue to do that week in and week out and into the Super Bowl on a huge stage, people will appreciate us when they look back at their season and how we did it.
Do you guys have maybe a word to describe it? I mean, the word for me would just be annoying. It is just frustrating that after every game, it is just a similar kind of controversy and sort of conversation around it. Is there a word that you feel for all of this noise circulating you guys wins?
No, not necessarily. Honestly, I mean, I know how we do it. I know about the business that we work with every single day and how hard we work and how guys have kind of sacrificed so many things in order to go out there and be in these type of football games. And so the outside world doesn't really bother me that much. I see the work that guys put in every single day and understand how good this football team is.
I am curious to get your thoughts on this about spot of the ball and how, if there is a better way to do it. Do you have an easy solution? People have said lasers. People have said put a chip in the football. You've been in these short yardage situations. Do you think there is a solution to make sure that we get the right call, so to speak?
The NFL will keep working and trying to find better ways to do it, but at the end of the day, you have to go out there and make it clear and obvious that you get the first down or you get the touchdown, and you want to do that, and then you don't have to worry about replay or anything like that. I mean, it's just kind of part of the game. It's just like calling balls and strikes in baseball. I mean, at some point, you just got to play the game and let the kind of football gods handle the rest. And if you go out there and play with the right mentality and leave it all out on the football field, you kind of live with the results. That's how I've always truly felt.
You've been to this multiple times, but there are some key teammates of yours that haven't been to this point. What is it like to help a guy like Kareem Hunt get to his first Super Bowl, Xavier Worthy in his first season, DeAndre Hopkins, who has had a lot of success in this league, never made it past the second round of the postseason. Now he's going to the Super Bowl. How rewarding is it to help those guys also get to this point so they get to experience Super Bowl week?
Yeah, it's super rewarding. It's a goal for everybody. And these guys are coming in, putting work in every single day to get to that game. And you want to go out there and have a great week and then obviously try to get the win and build those memories. I mean, a bunch of my best memories are from Super Bowl week and just hanging out with the guys in the hotel room before the game. I mean, the game's awesome. Obviously, you always remember that, but I think those memories that you build up and the camaraderie of just being around each other for a full week and all your hard work paying off, I think that's stuff that you'll have for the rest of your life.
I'm big into movies, and just to see Kareem Hunt's sort of redemption arc has been really rewarding to see. You talk about the work that he has put in. There was a video after the AFC Championship game where he's walking around on the field, and there's the confetti, and you understand how much this means to him. How important was it for you to help him get to this point where I feel like he's going to be a star for the Super Bowl?
Yeah, I mean, it was extremely important. And you know the stuff that he had went through, and how he's kind of matured and became a better person because of it, and just learned from his mistakes. And then to be able to come back and be in Kansas City, I mean, that's one of the first people I met when I was in Kansas City, and someone that was at my wedding, and that I have a lot of love for, and I know that he's dealt with his adversity and came back, learned from his mistakes, became a better person, and became a huge part of our football team. And I know all the guys are proud of him as well, and the way he carries himself every single day in the building and puts in the work. And that's why you're appreciative of the moments that you have, because you never know when these are going to be the last ones that you get.
How cool is it that Tom Brady is going to be on the call for this Super Bowl, and you got a chance to do something that even Tom hasn't done in his career, and he's done just about everything you can do as a football player?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's cool just because how great of a football player that he was, and I mean, obviously the relationship that I built with him is kind of a friendship now, and someone that I can talk to and listen to the advice from, and know that he's done it all the right way. And so for him to be able to call the game, hopefully we can find a way to get a win, and have that as someone is the GOAT, as the person that's calling the football game and getting his perspective on it when I go back and watch it with my kids one day.
Last thing here, Patrick, and I appreciate your time. Take us through this Doritos commercial. Like, you got your teammates in this commercial, and I'm curious what your favorite Dorito flavor is.
Oh, yeah. So the Doritos commercial was hilarious, man. And I was glad to get the teammates in there. And I mean, you're going to have some stars. I mean, when you have Creed and Chris, and you see their personalities, and Xavier and all these guys that we had in there, I mean, a lot of people are going to see the personalities that we have in this team, like I was talking about earlier. And my favorite flavor, I've been the original Cool Ranch guy forever, but I like the sweet and chili, the purple bag. And then the black bag is like my change up. Every once in a while they have this like tangy barbecue one that I'll throw in just to mix it up.
That is a quarterback of the Kansas City Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes, joining us on the show. You can catch him next Sunday for Super Bowl 59. Patrick, man, it certainly was a privilege to have you join us this season, man. Good luck in New Orleans.
I appreciate you.
That is our conversation with the quarterback of the Kansas City Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes. If you missed any part of it, be sure to check it out on the podcast page. All right, coming up on the other side, we're going to give credit to an unsung hero from the Chiefs postseason run, and Nick Wright. He has been making the media rounds trying to defend your honor. I want to play something that he had to say. Keep it right here. It's The Drive on 96.5 The Fan.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
All right, folks, we are counting down the days to the big game. And you know that part of any big game party is that you got to make sure that you got the right quality eats. And with Kansas City playing in the final game of the season, you got to make sure that you got a Kansas City kind of meal. And that best meal that you can get is with our friends over at Gates Barbecue. With 5 locations around town, doesn't matter what part of the city that you're in. Doesn't matter if you're on the Kansas side, go stop by the one over on State Line. Maybe you're like me and you live in the city close to downtown. You can stop by the one over on Main. They're almost done with the streetcar. You can also stop by the one over there on 12th and Brooklyn. Maybe you live close by the stadiums. You can stop by the one over on 40 Highway. I told you, you're not that far away from Gates Barbecue. So you already know for your big game party, you're going to need to go ahead and get one of those party trays. Go ahead and set it up right now. You can get a small party tray. You can get yourself a large party tray. Maybe you're like Rob and you plan on having people over for your first big game party as a married couple, and you need to go ahead and get that presidential platter. Maybe you plan on doing the grilling for yourself. Well, the next time you go to the grocery store, grab some of the sauce, grab some of the seasonings, and be prepared to watch the local team win another trophy. It's Carrington Harrison from The Drive here telling you guys that whatever your big game plans are, please make sure they include Gates Barbecue.
Hey, it's Rex here with RexBuysKC.com, your local KC home buyer. If you own a property in the Kansas City or surrounding area and want to sell it fast and at a fair price, write this number down, 816-330-6000. I'm a private real estate investor, not some hedge fund or large national chain. My family and I live right here in KC. I can pay cash and close on your timeline, even in as little as 3 days. Here at rexbuyskc.com, we're improving Kansas City one house at a time. I buy inherited houses, vacant houses, foreclosure houses, behind in payment houses, my tenant won't pay the rent houses, and properties that need complete rehabs. Do you own a house that's trashed and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at this number, 816-330-6000. That's 816-330-6000, or go to rexbuyskc.com. That's rexbuyskc.com, and I look forward to working with you.
Missouri sports fans, I've got good news. Underdog is available to play in your state. It's the best place to cash in all your takes during the playoffs, which players are going to go off and which ones are ice cold. With over 5 million happy players and $2 billion won, Underdog makes it fun and easy to cash in on all of your favorite athletes. Whether you think they're going higher or lower, you can make those fire entries for a shot at real cash prizes all playoffs long. Underdog is the only champs platform that puts the power of cash in your hands. Now you can either keep it riding with your entry or tap the Win Now button to cash out whenever you want. Underdog is the place to play. Sign up now and deposit with promo code TAPP, T-A-P-P, to get up to $1,000 in bonus cash instantly. And if you're in Missouri, you'll get an additional $50 in bonus cash when you play your first $5 entry. That's promo code TAPP, T-A-P-P. Must be 18 plus and present in this state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. $10 deposit minimum. See UnderdogFantasy.com for terms and conditions. Concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Visit www.ncpgambling.org.
Are you ready to take your business to the next level? Meet Viant AI, the world's first fully autonomous advertising platform. With Viant AI, you can automate media planning, analyze results, and drive smarter decisions, all while saving you time and resources. Viant AI helps you unlock new potential and boost productivity regardless of your expertise. Visit Viant.ai today and see how the future of artificial intelligence in advertising can work for you.
Every morning, we rise and shine, make breakfast, and brush away the night's rest. These routines help us start the day off right. Nature-Made vitamins are a simple step in that daily care regimen. Multivitamins with daily essentials, clinically studied probiotics for gut health support, magnesium to help relax the body. Nature-Made is made to care for you every day. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
This traffic is brought to you by Metro Ford, online at kcmetroford.com. Emergency vehicles still blocking the right lane in North Kansas City, southbound 35 just past Armour Road. And a multi-car crash closing 2 left lanes, Metro South Side, eastbound 435 just past Quivira. Attention drivers, the time is now to buy at Metro Ford, like a 2022 low-mile all-wheel drive Ford Escape SEL with panoramic sunroof for under $27,000. Every eligible pre-owned vehicle comes with a 5-year, 200,000-mile warranty. Visit Metro Ford today on Nolan Road in Independence or shop online at kcmetroford.com. Metro Ford, driven to exceed your expectations. From the Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric Traffic Center, I'm Lori Pearson, 96.5 The Fan Traffic.
Kane is in the building.
Welcome to your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan.
All right, I want to spend this segment playing some of my favorite audio clips from today. We have spent a lot of time talking about the legacy and what this means for Patrick Mahomes, and deservedly so. He is going to be the quarterback of his 5th Super Bowl, and he is only 29 years old. He has had one of the most incredible starts to his career of any American athlete. But you didn't do this by yourself. There were a lot of other people that helped you along the way. This is probably something we'll talk a little bit more about next week as things start to pick up and we start to really focus more on the game and how Kansas City can win and what I think about the Eagles, etc. But the information came out today about the kickoff rule. You guys know that the league made a pretty significant change to kickoffs at the very beginning of the season. They saw a 57% increase in kickoffs. There were more kick returns touchdowns this year than last year, and they also saw a decrease in injuries. They're not changing the rules. This was a 1-year trial run to see if people liked it, to see how it worked. I do think that the rule has worked. I do think it has led to more action and more movement in football. And if you can do that and keep guys safe, I think everybody is on board with that. Last year, and a big reason why I think the rule changed was there was not a kick return in last year's Super Bowl. You got two dynamic teams in a dynamic game that went to overtime, and neither team had a kick return. So I think the league wanted to put a little bit of action into its product, so they changed the rules. Nico Remigio has been great as their special teams guy. You had McCole Hardman. He's out with an injury. He's on the injured reserve list. He's not going to play in the Super Bowl, and they needed somebody to step up. Nico has made big plays in the special teams in back-to-back postseason games. He did so in the game against the Houston Texans. Now, he had a fumble, but the Chiefs recovered it. And he was very important in the special teams as well against the Buffalo Bills. I think it's pretty safe to say that he is going to have somewhere between 4 to 6 chances to make a play next Sunday, whether it's in the kicking game, whether it's in the punt game. He is going to have a couple of different opportunities to make a play and impact this game from a special teams perspective. He told a really cool story earlier today with Kay Adams. Here's the story.
Trav came up to me earlier in the game, and I had fair caught that first punt coming out the gates, and he was like, "That's not being great, bro." And so I knew going into this next opportunity that I had, I'm like, I got to make something happen. And so I went and took a peek down the field and saw that the guys were, it was going to be tight and it was going to be a quick play, and, just made it happen.
That was Nico Remigio. He was on Kay Adams' show earlier today talking about it. I really do think that he is a potential X factor in next Sunday's Super Bowl. We saw the impact that he's had in 2 consecutive postseason games. He's going to have an opportunity to make another play. He will have another opportunity to be great. With the rule changes, the obviously importance of this game, I think he's going to have a couple of chances to go out and make a play. The next thing that I want to play for you guys is for my dear friend Nick Wright. And I want to play this because Nick has been making the rounds. He was on Adam Schein's show earlier today. He was on Dan Le Batard's show earlier today. He was on Dan Patrick earlier today as well. So Nick, with the Chiefs being in yet another Super Bowl, has very rightly positioned himself as a voice for the Kansas City Chiefs. I do not think the coverage right now with the Chiefs is very balanced at all. I do think it has been largely one-sided. It's been a lot of complaining about the officiating, basically since the roughing the passer call with Will Anderson that has dominated the story with Kansas City in the postseason. It has been the number one thing that people have talked about. They've talked about that more than what Patrick Mahomes has accomplished, more than seeing the redemption arc of Kareem Hunt. We talk about second chances. A player was given a second chance, has made the most out of his second chances, hasn't really spent a whole lot of time talking about it. The fact that Travis Kelce has a chance to be maybe the greatest postseason player, skill position player in the history of the National Football League. Maybe those things will come up next week, but this week the conversation has been about officiating, and Nick has been there at the forefront. He's also been saying these kind of things about Patrick Mahomes for quite some time.
People talk about NFL quarterbacks like there's a big 4. There isn't. It's not Patrick, Josh, Lamar, and Burry. To misquote Kendrick Lamar, it's not a big 3, it's a big me, and it's Patrick. That's why I use the Sopranos analogy. I love Christopher and Paulie and Silvio, but here's the thing. It's not their f***ing story. The show's called The Sopranos, and it's about Tony. And the NFL in the 2020s is about Patrick Mahomes. There are 4 major trophies: league MVP, Super Bowl MVP, conference, Super Bowl. Here is the current trophy count. Josh Allen, 0. Joe Burrow, 1. Lamar Jackson, 2. Patrick Mahomes, 13. These guys are not standalone historic figures. They are different moons orbiting around the planet that is Patrick Mahomes. He is the main character of the NFL this decade.
That was Nick Wright on his podcast talking about Patrick Mahomes. We discussed it a little bit yesterday that part of the story with Patrick Mahomes, I guess it's twofold, maybe a better way to preface it. Patrick Mahomes' story has an A side and a B side. The A side is his individual dominance and what he has been able to accomplish in his career. I always talk to you guys about the Wikipedia test. And that if you go on Wikipedia and you type in a player, over on the right side, it says accomplishments. What did you do in your career? Accomplishments and achievements. What did you do in your career? Mahomes is going to be perfect by the time he's over. That is the resume that he has built. He has had incredible individual success, and he has been a part of some pretty magical team success as well. That part is solidified. But the other part about Patrick Mahomes is the dominance that he has had over everybody else. There's a lot of quarterbacks right now that are in their prime. Lamar Jackson is in his prime. Josh Allen is in his prime. Mahomes, Trevor Lawrence. We can go up and down the list of guys right now. If I asked you, are they in their prime? It's probably about 6 to 8 quarterbacks in the NFL. None of those guys have won a Super Bowl because Mahomes keeps winning all of them. So one side of the story is how great Mahomes is, but his greatness is not just about himself and what he's been able to accomplish and what the team has been able to accomplish. It's also what he has blocked other players from being able to accomplish, and not just good players in the league. Lamar will have at least 2 MVP awards, maybe a third one. Josh Allen might have his first MVP awards. Joe Burrow has taken his team to a Super Bowl. We're talking about how stacked the AFC is at quarterback. And there is one player that is just the biggest roadblock for all of them. And by the time this thing is done, you will be able to add up all 3 of them and what they have accomplished. It will not come close to what one player has been able to do in his time as the quarterback of the Kansas City Chiefs. I want to play one more cut for you guys because you know what? You know the team that has stood up the most for Kansas City in all of this? It's actually been the Patriots. The Patriots' former players have defended the Kansas City Chiefs. Listen to Julian Edelman.
When you're on top, everyone wants to try to bring you down. It's a bunch of baloney that the league is helping the Kansas City Chiefs. If you got a problem with it, go beat them. Okay, the refs aren't involved in when you throw interceptions, when you fumble the ball, when you jump off sides, when you don't convert third down or fourth down, or third and fourth down for short 4 times. They can't control that. Like, if you want to beat them, go beat them. Don't talk about it. Be about it. I'm so sick and tired of hearing people say that about the Chiefs. Do business as business is being done with the referees. We all have scouting reports on each ref crew on how they like to throw the game. You learn about it during that first part of that game. If they're calling it tight, you tighten back. If they're not, you just hope that they're consistent throughout the whole thing, which they usually are. And yes, they miss calls and they do these things, and there's bad calls here and there. But there's a handful of roughing the passers for guys that don't even have a resume that you looked at this year that got the call. If it's close, leave it alone. Yeah, they'll probably have to address that sideline awareness stuff, but these whole graphics about, they get the call and they don't get the call. They don't give the call to them because they're coached better.
That was Julian Edelman earlier today on the Rich Eisen show. I think the reason that the Patriots' former players have been so openly supportive of Kansas City is because they're the only people that can identify with how the Chiefs are. You're the only people that can identify with the success that Kansas City has had. You're the only people that can identify with the criticism that they also have received. It is funny, as we have seen in real time, Kansas City go from that plucky upstart team that everybody wanted to beat or wanted to see beat the champion when the Patriots, they played in their first AFC championship game, to now they've become the Patriots. That is how this story has changed for the Kansas City Chiefs. Keep it right here. You're listening to The Drive on 96.5 The Fan.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
The FanDuel Kick of Destiny is back, and this time it's every Manning for himself. This Super Bowl will have 2 legends take the field in a sudden death field goal showdown. The brothers, Peyton and Eli, live from New Orleans. One kick to claim ultimate family bragging rights. Who will rise to the moment? Pick your winner now in the FanDuel app, and if you back the right brother, you'll earn a share of $10 million in bonus bets. It's FanDuel Kick of Destiny 3. Make your free pick, and don't forget to tune in to watch the showdown live during Super Bowl 59 pregame show on Fox at 2 p.m. Central. May the best Manning win. Download the app or head to FanDuel.com/KFNZ and bet with FanDuel, an official partner of Super Bowl 59 and also 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Kansas. 21 and present in Kansas. No purchase necessary. Bonus issue with non-withdrawable bonus bets. It expires 7 days after restrictions apply. Void where prohibited. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under agreement with Kansas Star Casino, LLC. Gambling problem? Can help with your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700. Visit ksgamblinghelp.com.
What's up, football fans? BetMGM is giving you the chance to win up to $250,000 in bonus bet credits. It's all part of BetMGM's longest touchdown jackpot, where you could be able to split the grand prize with anyone else who bet on the longest touchdown of the week. Log into your BetMGM account today and opt into the promo. Then place an anytime touchdown wager of $10 or more on the player of your choice, up to one player per game. If your player scores the longest touchdown of the week, you'll win a share of the $250K in credits. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 years of age or older. This U.S. promotional offer not available in Mississippi, New York, Nevada. BetMGM's longest touchdown jackpot subject to rules. See BetMGM.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Available in the U.S. For New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. For Arizona, 1-800-NEXT-STEP. For Massachusetts, 1-800-327-5050. For Iowa, 1-800-BETS-OFF. Subject to eligibility requirements. Bonus bets are unrestricted rewards credits that expire in 7 days in partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
I'm at a smoothie bar asking people if they'd switch smoothies with me for $574.
Oh, I'll switch.
So what about $574 if you switch your home insurance to Allstate?
That's a headache.
Nope, it's painless.
Oh, so it's easy money.
Yep, check Allstate first and you could save hundreds on quality home insurance today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Not available in every state. Based on the national average annual savings for new home insurance customers surveyed in 2023 who switched to Allstate and reported savings. Savings vary.
In the dynamic world of programmatic ad buying, Viant is your ultimate CTV partner. Target with precision. Buy with confidence. Viant empowers you with AI-driven technology that reaches your audience where they engage most, ensuring your message hits home. And the campaign results? Transparent, thanks to Viant's advanced measurement suite. For media buyers who demand the best, Viant delivers. Viant, elevate your CTV campaign performance.
Right now at Wendy's, get 2 of these fave items for just $7. The spicier classic chicken sandwich, Dave's single, or 10-piece nugs. It's an incredible deal, but an insanely difficult choice. Do you go double chicky sando, both spicy and classic, one beefy and one chicky? Or maybe you go all in on one and go Nug Max. 2 faves for just $7? Gotta be Wendy's.
At participating Wendy's for a limited time only. Select a request 2 for $7 deal to redeem. Not valid in a combo or with saucy nugs. Single item at regular price. Prices may be higher in Alaska and Hawaii.
Lowe's knows how to help you save time and money, no matter the job. That's why we can deliver supplies to your job site as soon as same day, so you have more time to get the job done. Because when you need it fast, we've got you covered. Lowe's knows pros. Valid on eligible in-stock orders and select zip codes placed by 2 p.m. for same-day delivery by 8 p.m. Subject to driver availability. Fees vary based on purchase. More terms apply. See Lowe's.com/same-day delivery for details.
You're listening to Kickoff with Boomer and Valenti, locally here on 96.5 The Fan in Kansas City. Kickoff with Boomer Esiason and Mike Valenti is presented locally by ESPN Bet Sportsbook.
History in the making.
Please go to that rock canal. Now they go to a flip bone set. First down play. Mahomes keeps it on an RPO at the 5. Gets a lead block. He goes into the end zone near side. Touchdown, Kansas City. Patrick Mahomes, a 16-yard run. His second rushing touchdown of the game.
You're listening to the new home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
Robsite Ford. Non-commissioned staff, low prices, best trade-ins, and the biggest selection. Visit robsite.com. 2025 is the year Robsite Ford makes history. With non-commissioned sales staff, the lowest prices on brand new Fords, best trade-in values, and the biggest selection, we've got it all. Visit Robsite Ford, the top-rated Ford dealership on Google. Robsite.com.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios. Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Traffic brought to you by Connolly Plumbing Solutions, your neighborhood plumber. Call 913-768-7676 or ConnollyPlumbingSolutions.com. A collision on the south side involving multiple vehicles eastbound 435 just past Quivira, closing 2 left lanes and a stalled car stopping traffic northbound at 635 at the on-ramp from Metcalf. Connolly Plumbing Solutions, your neighborhood plumber, this month offering $200 off tank water heater replacement or $400 off tankless. Call Connolly 913-768-7676 or ConnollyPlumbingSolutions.com. From the Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric Traffic Center, I'm Lori Pearson, 96.5 The Fan Traffic.
Make sure to follow The Drive on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
You guys don't understand that I really enjoy talking about the Chiefs with you guys. It's actually one of my favorite activities is coming up with new Chiefs topics. But it's not my favorite thing to do. Now, I understand where my bread is buttered, and the Chiefs have afforded Rob and I both a very comfortable life, and I'm very much appreciative of that. But it's not my favorite thing to talk about. My favorite thing to talk about on this show is Kansas basketball. And not in the ways that you guys will think. I don't like talking about KU when everything's going good. You know, they keep winning the league. They don't lose home games. They're got a chance to win the national championship. That's not when it's fun to talk about KU. That's boring to me. In fact, that's my least favorite thing to talk about. But this season, oh, I love it. I really do. I love it. I've seen this KU team in person now 2 separate times. I probably will see them once or twice again before the season's over. I'll either go back out to Allen or I'll see them at the Big 12 tournament. I will see KU in person again before the season is up. I've seen them at various stages. I saw them before we got to conference play. I saw them in the middle of conference play. And you guys know that I watch Kansas basketball. This team ain't it, man. I'm not seeing it. Not the team that I just saw play basketball yesterday. That team, no. That team's not winning the league. That team is not making a deep run in the NCAA tournament. I don't see it. If Bill can put this puzzle together, he is truly a wizard. I said this early on in the season, that it would be hard to win at an incredibly high level if your best player can't guard people. I watched Hunter Dickinson yesterday. He gets run through screens. The rebound is there. It's right in front of him. I was frustrated, and I didn't even want KU to win the game. I'm looking at DeJuan Harrison. I know that he was injured. I'm not seeing a player that has shown me a lot of growth in his game the last couple of years. I'm looking at KJ Adams. He's not much different than when he was a sophomore. I just don't see it with this KU team. I've seen a lot of Kansas basketball teams in my life. And sometimes you think a team that you think a team is going to be it, and then you end up watching them and, the tournament happens. You end up losing a heartbreaker. We've seen a couple of those KU teams before, but there's just nothing. There's nothing scary about this team. There's nothing special about this team. I don't care what number goes before their name in the NCAA tournament. I don't think it will be a 1 or a 2. It'll probably be a 3 or a 4. Probably a 3. That team is in danger. They will play a mid-major team that can shoot it. That team can beat KU. In the second round of the NCAA tournament, they will play a good basketball team that can match up with them in a lot of different ways. That team will give KU fits. There's nothing memorable about this KU team. There's nothing going to be memorable about this season. That's my favorite kind of year. They're not going to win the Big 12 tournament. They're not going to win the Big 12 regular season. They're not making a deep run in the NCAA tournament. And they just playing basketball out there for vibes.
And paychecks.
Certainly for paychecks.
A couple of them get nice paychecks, too.
You know what? It will be a fun activity to help get you to baseball season. Maybe you haven't locked in yet to Kansas basketball, and I get it. The Chiefs have taken all your attention. Well, the Chiefs, they only got another, 10, 11 days, and then their season will be over, and maybe there's a parade, maybe there's not a parade. We'll see what happens, and then after that, you're going to be thinking, man, what am I going to do? You got KU basketball to keep up with. And trust me, if you ain't been watching them, it's going to be frustrating. It frustrates me. It frustrates me. I'm not even a fan. I'm sitting there watching Hunter Dickinson. Have you ever accidentally messed with the podcast speed? You know how you can make the podcast go real fast? Like 1.5, 1. That's how KJ Adams plays. Have you ever accidentally hit the button and listen to the podcast in slow motion? That's how it's watching Hunter Dickinson's like. So, hey, good luck. Someone on the text line says your takes on KU are trash. Okay. I mean, hey, you are more than allowed to disagree with my opinions on KU. I say this as a neutral observer. I really do. I'm a neutral observer. I'm just a fan of college basketball. I watched them I watched. They didn't match up well against Missouri. They didn't match up well against Missouri. And I just watched them against UCF, a team that they beat by 60 points. They beat them by 60 points, and UCF had the ball at Allen Fieldhouse down one with less than 10 seconds to go. You know when KU got a team, they ain't got it this year, and that's okay. That's fine. They do not have it this season. All right, Rob, we are still full speed ahead, getting you ready for Super Bowl 59. I'll be back tomorrow. Take care of yourself. It's The Drive on 96.5 The Fan.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your new home for Royals baseball.